The Illinois Supreme Court has ruled that a female teen charged with fatally shooting a 14-year-old girl when in 2014 is not entitled by law to a jury trial in juvenile court. The now 18-year-old was 14 when India Martin was killed in Chicago, the shooting stemming from a Facebook feud over a boy. You have to work really hard to spin something positive out of Illinois' latest jobs report. State's employment agency yesterday saying Illinois lost almost 11,000 jobs in September. Iconic Chicago area candy maker Ferrara is being sold to the Italian maker of Nutella and Tic Tacs. Ferrara already owns another Chicago iconic candy brand, Fannie Mae, and is buying Ferrara, the maker of Brock's, Trolli, and Lemonheads, in a deal that's expected to be closed by the end of the year. Ferraro says it expects to run Ferrara as a separate unit, keep its headquarters in Oak Brook Terrace, along with 2 plants in Forest Park and Bellwood. Mark Letsu scored on a power play with 15.8 seconds left in OT to give the Edmonton Oilers a 2-1 win over the Blackhawks last night. C.J. Miles, 22, in his Toronto debut. Raptors beat the shorthanded Bulls 117-101 in the season opener for both teams. Nice outing for Chicago first-round pick Lauri Markkanen with 17. College football, Iowa travels to Northwestern after a bye week and an easy win over Wolfville, Illinois. The Fighting Illini travel to Minnesota to take on the Gophers Saturday. Our NIU Huskies take on Bowling Green in the MAC Saturday. Game 6 of the ALCS tonight, Yankees and Astros. Thursday night football, stunning comeback for the Raiders, 31-30 winners over the Chiefs. The news, a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 5:08, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Our rights don't come from government.
The Joe Walsh Show.
Democrats are saying you have a fundamental human right to health care. No, you don't. Health care, a job, a roof over your head, these are not rights. Government can't give you rights.
The Joe Walsh Show. Weeknights starting at 5. Right after Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
I don't think most people in America understand this anymore.
If you have pain, listen up. Dennis Prager here. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You don't have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. So, Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of its side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you can be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, you can try Transcend absolutely risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-6779. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. Now you can enjoy the freedom to sleep comfortably anywhere. But don't delay. To receive your 10-night in-home trial, call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-6779. Again, that's 1-800-600-6779.
Thinking about life insurance? What if you could make one free phone call and learn your best price from nearly a dozen highly rated price-competitive companies? Well, that's exactly what happens when you call SelectQuote Life. For example, George is 40. He was getting sky-high quotes from other companies because he takes meds to control his blood pressure. But when I shopped around, I found him a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $25 a month. I'm SelectQuote agent Dan Savino. And believe me, if SelectQuote isn't shopping for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 800-613-7416. That's 800-613-7416. 800-613-7416. Or go to SelectQuote.com. Since 1985, we shop, you save.
Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Or price could vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors. Not available in all states.
5:12. Let's get an update on what's happening in your morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. And here's our Jim Talamonte. Good morning, Jim.
Good morning, Mike. That fire at the far western edge of St. Charles has been put out, we're told, but a lot of fire crews in that area. This is, again, far western edge of St. Charles, which has 64 or North Avenue blocked in the area between Town Hall and Hanson. This is near the Mary Meadows area east of Lily Lake, very western edge of St. Charles. On the Chicago expressways, the Ryan has delays on the inbound side approaching downtown. It's heavy from 18th into the Burns Circle. Some overnight work just wrapped up there. Outbound stop and go 83rd to 95th. The roadway's down to one lane until 6 this morning. That's about a 5-minute delay. The Edens, outbound at Dempster, a crash just reported. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. Buy a Napa reusable bag today for just 99 cents. You'll get 20% off nearly anything that fits inside. Spark plugs, air fresheners, to oil filters. All 20% off. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. While supplies last, exclusions apply. Minimum 3 items. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. We get the very latest with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A mix of sun and some clouds for today with a high getting up to 77, then turning out to be a partly cloudy night tonight. Low of 59. Breezy with partial sunshine tomorrow. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour with a high of 77. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
51 at O'Hare, 59 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30. Breaking news as it happens. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth. Tune in Saturday afternoons at 2 for Grow My Retirement with Bill Geiger of Geiger Wealth.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Order has been restored to the universe. We can once again say, wait till next year, Cubs fans. Yeah.
Wow.
I can only imagine, though, Amy, you must be terribly conflicted.
Why am I? Well, I'm always conflicted, but what am I conflicted about now?
Well, it was...
Season's over, dude. It was a great season. Come on.
Kiki Hernandez.
Otherwise known as Enrique. Yeah.
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
He's
the
from
one
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
So he ended the Cubs. So how do you fall on that?
Well, he's so great. So his mom and his grandparents had to watch the game with the help of a generator that they stood in line for to get diesel fuel for so that they could watch their son.
Yeah, I know. The hurricane, yeah.
Yeah, well, there's this thing. It wasn't just high winds. It was.
I heard.
And the hurricane blew through Wrigley Field last night, and that was Kiki Hernandez. But yeah, he told
the greatest Kiki since Vandaway, I'd say.
Oh yeah, well there you go with that baseball trivia.
Well, Kiki Vandaway is a basketball player, but
well, okay, and that too.
Yeah,
but,
sure.
So he called his mom last night before the game and said, "Mom, I'm going to hit a home run. I'm going to do it this time." Not only did he hit a home run, he had a grand slam. He had 3 home runs, 4 RBIs, and
which almost equaled his season total.
My body's here, but my mind's kind of back home. It's hard. It's hard being away from home with what's going on, and to be able to do this in a stage like this and against the Cubs that beat us last year and to get us to the World Series, it's amazing. I honestly can't put it into words, and all I want to do right now is go to my dad and give him a big hug.
There you
What
go.
about your mom, huh?
So how do you fall on that though?
I'm licking my wounds this morning.
No, but I mean,
what do you mean?
Well,
yeah, it's awful.
He's from San Juan, Puerto Rico.
It's San Juan, Puerto Rico.
So are you happy that he defeated the Cubs?
You know what? I honestly, from watching the Dodgers last year, that is a good team, and they deserve it. 312-642-5600 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. 64636 is our Turnkey.pro answer line. Our text line. You know why they didn't win, though? Because this guy wasn't at the game.
Oh, you didn't go to the game?
I didn't get sponsored, no. I watched
You can only do that Glenn Close move once.
Yeah.
Really. You did it. You did it for game
And I did it valiantly.
4.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to work for game 5.
I'm a game 4 girl, whether it be the championship series, division series. Well, sometimes not the division series because sometimes they sweep, or the World Series. But yeah, it's over. So I wish them well. I think that they're going to play the Yankees. So it was half right.
Well, you're only half wrong to this point because the Yankees and Astros business is not done.
No, it's not done.
That's right.
They have 2 in Houston. So did you watch the game?
No.
No.
I mean, it was over by the, 5th inning?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
it was very quiet in our neighborhood. People quiet, walking to the game. People very quiet.
Yeah.
And then they have those
I like
T-shirts that
I like when Wrigleyville is quiet.
you do.
I like when it's tamped down a bit.
Oh,
I
well,
like,
nobody flipped any cars over. There was no looting. Well, you got to watch out for
if
that.
there was, it was unrelated to the Cubs. What would you be looting over?
Because you're mad your team lost. What do you mean, what would you be looting over? People flip cars over when they win. People burn cars when they lose.
Well, yeah.
They do,
That's just Thursday night in Chicago. That has nothing to do with the Cubs.
No, it was a great game. I'm going to cheer for the Dodgers. Mm-hmm.
Out with a whimper.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I heard someone being interviewed saying, wait till next year, 2018. I mean, really, come on.
Right. The kind of guy that makes it easy to hate the Cubs.
Oh, boy. All right, forecast for today, pleasantly warm, plenty of sunshine, some clouds, a high of 77 degrees, and your weekend looks great the first half. Tonight we're going to have cloudy skies, a low of 58. Saturday, partly sunny, breezy, very warm, a high in the upper 70s. We could hit the 80-degree mark.
Ann B. Davis is bowling while tweeting. Somewhere in Puerto Rico tomorrow, a crate, well, not today, a crate of Cubs 2017 World Series shirts to be airdropped to hurricane victims. Maybe some Kiki Hernandez jerseys, too.
Yeah. Sunday, not as warm. We're going to have occasional rain and a high only in the mid-60s. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Any loud noises around Wrigley Field this morning? Here's Jim Telemonte.
No, Amy. Nice and quiet, just the way we like it, especially White Sox fans. Congrats to the Dodgers, though. St. Charles had a major barn fire. It started here in the overnight hours. That has been extinguished. Still has North Avenue, or 64, the far western edge of St. Charles, blocked between Town Hall and Hanson. This is east of Lily Lake, not by a lot, Mary Meadows area, western St. Charles. On the Rhine Expressway inbound, a little heavy 18th to downtown after overnight road work wrapped up. 16 minutes, 95th to the loop. Outbound 20, it's down to 1 lane, 83rd and 95th with some overnight work. Inbound Edens, traffic moves well. Outbound at Dempster, a crash just reported. Kennedy, Eisenhower, and the Stevenson are all good. Slight delays on inbound I-57 and the Bishop Ford. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Acme Home Insurance.
Yes, I'd like to make a claim.
What are you wanting to claim, sir?
My air conditioner broke down.
Sorry, but your home insurance doesn't cover air conditioner breakdowns.
So what do you cover?
Home damage from things like earthquakes, volcanoes, a zombie apocalypse.
A zombie apocalypse? But that'll never happen.
But if it did, you'd be covered, sir.
But not my air conditioner?
I'm afraid not.
But his air conditioner could have been covered with a home warranty from American Home Shield. We cover major components of air conditioners, plus 20 other home systems and appliances, like electrical systems, plumbing, refrigerators, and more. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. Homeowners insurance can cover what might happen.
Zombies are coming!
But a home warranty helps cover what will happen.
Now the dryer won't work.
Be sure with the Shield. American Home Shield. For valuable free information, call 1-800-400-7011. That's 1-800-400-7011. 1-800-400-7011.
Federal, state, and excise tax matters are serious and need to be addressed, not ignored. You don't need scare tactics to know procrastination can lead to severe consequences. You need a tax solution partner who will provide an honest assessment of your unique situation and help implement a strategy that fits your circumstances. You need Tax Relief Inc. They've helped hundreds of satisfied customers like Mary.
Through a series of unfortunate circumstances, I found myself owing over $40,000 in back taxes. Tax Relief Inc. was able to negotiate an offer and compromise for $2,400 payable in 3 installments. I never would have been able to reach a settlement like this with the IRS. Thanks, Tax Relief Inc.
Ready for your tax problem relief? Deal directly with owner Joe Shadle of Tax Relief Inc. No salesperson or middleman, just an honest, local, and dependable partner to assist you with the resolution of your tax matter. Call Joe now for a free, no-obligation consultation at 630-655-1040. That's 630-655-1040. Or go to taxreliefinc.com.
Need a CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry popular brands of CPAP equipment, including ResMed, Respironics, and more. To move inventory, we're selling some of our ResMed CPAP machines at prices lower than you would think. Call now to learn more about these affordable ResMed CPAPs. We'll even provide free shipping on your ResMed machine orders so you'll get it fast. Call 1-800-600-7101. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and carries a large inventory of sleep apnea equipment. With little retail overhead and no middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has a large inventory of ResMed CPAPs and is offering free shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-600-7101. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-600-7101.
AM 560, The Answer.
Yeah, I'm glad we got this text from 847 about Kiki Hernandez. It's pronounced Kike. Yeah, I know. It's Kike, and I understand the Spanish pronunciation. In this country, sir, it's Kiki. Just like we say San Juan, not like Amy says about San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
His name is Kiki Hernandez,
Kike.
and that's what I'm going with.
Okay, Kiki. I'm sorry, it is Kike. Whatever. His name's Enrique, all right?
Kiki.
I'm still licking my wounds. Can I play this just because it's a big fun Friday? This is a Cub fan back in 2003 when I was outside. Well, yeah. They were 8 outs away, didn't get there.
Yeah, we're familiar with what happened in 2003. Thank you.
It's the greatest thing. Even if they don't get to the World Series, just so we're not losers anymore.
I had a grown man reduced to tears in my arms. That was right before before Game 7 was played. He was just we're not losers anymore.
Yeah. Out with a whimper in 2003 too. There's this story, Amy. Criminal Justice Beat I wanted to direct your attention to, particularly for those who may be enjoying a muffin or some bacon and eggs.
Did you bring muffins in for me this morning?
No, I didn't. Travis Boyes,
Mm-hmm.
he is accused of murdering a New Orleans police officer in 2015. He was recently declared mentally unfit to stand trial, and this may be a tip for you that are imprisoned if you want to try and get to a mental health facility rather than do hard time at a Supermax.
Here we go. Dan Proff's prison tips. Okay.
I have parenting tips.
You do?
But if the parenting goes bad, then I have prison tips. I mean, I cover all the bases.
Tutoring classes?
Yeah. So Travis Boyes hid... he hid feces in a bag.
Oh, gosh.
And then when it was time for him to appear in front of a judge and a jury panel,
oh no,
he smeared the feces on his face.
Oh.
And began eating it.
Oh, no, he did not. Gross. Why? Wait.
Now, this
Just to prove that he's mentally incompetent, right?
Right. Now, this is a matter of some controversy among medical professionals, one doctor noting that while it may be unfortunate and disturbing, the handling
And smelly.
Well, the handling of feces is a relatively common occurrence in jails.
Oh, okay.
So, it's nothing out of the ordinary. Now, the timing here, he wasn't in prison, he was in court, could indicate he was mentally ill, or it could indicate that he was malingering, and it was, depending on his motivation, psychotic people do disgusting, bizarre things under the influence of dilational thought. So this is a pending matter. He has been referred for psychiatric evaluation. So, it's like you have the mobster that when he's on trial, he goes crazy, right? Crazy,
Right.
quote unquote. The mob boss who starts wearing a bathrobe and wanders out into the streets, that whole routine to, try and be declared mentally unfit to stand trial. So this is another approach. More graphic? Sure. But it's in...
So what did he do it when he was in the courtroom? Like
Yeah.
right before?
Yeah,
so he
he-
snuck the bag in and
He
then
snuck the bag of feces in. It was a real, shish show in court that day. Shish show.
Did you say Kiki or Kika?
Shish Kiki.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
The same banking team you already know and trust at the private bank has come together with one of the strongest banks in North America. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. We share the same focus on building strong client relationships, and we're now backed by a bank with over 150 years of experience in putting clients first. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to helping your business grow is now stronger than ever. Visit us at cibc.com/US. Member FDIC.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Did W take a shot at Trump, or is that just the media's stylized interpretation at 5:38?
And later, who knew Paul Ryan, your Speaker of the House, was a comedian? Yes, he was at the Al Smith fundraiser last night, and he hit it out of the park. But first, let's go into the newsroom and say good morning to Mike Scott.
Good morning. Good in a white tie, too. 57 degrees. Clear skies. President Donald Trump hailing the vote is great news in a post-midnight tweet, calling it the first step toward massive tax cuts. The White House saying in a statement that the president is applauding the Senate for passing its fiscal year 2018 budget resolution, taking an important step in advancing a pro-growth, pro-jobs, pro-tax cut agenda. Absolutely stunned. That's how White House Chief of Staff John Kelly described his feelings when he learned that a Florida congresswoman had overheard the president's phone call to a widow of a fallen soldier.
It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought at least that was sacred.
Congresswoman Frederica Wilson claims the president was disrespectful to the woman and her family. Former President Obama warning about the hostile political environment.
Instead of our politics reflecting our values, we've got politics infecting our communities.
He was on the campaign trail for Ralph Northam in Virginia's governor's race. Former President George W. Bush saying the recent political climate has emboldened bigotry. In New York, rallying against current trends in politics, he says it's more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication today.
Bigotry seems emboldened. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication.
The president warned about Russian interference in the U.S. election as well. Women's basketball coaches from the Southeast Conference slamming the Trump administration for not inviting national champion South Carolina to visit the White House. South Carolina is the first women's national team since 1983 not to be invited. Jose Quintana got knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw, and the Cubs fall 11-1 in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series after being outplayed the entire series. Cubs were no match for the Dodgers, the team which led the majors with 104 wins. An Aurora man going to federal prison for trying to fly to Syria to join a terror group, Abdullah Tunisi, was sentenced to 15 years behind bars after pleading guilty to attempting to provide material support to an al-Qaeda branch. The new Apple store in downtown Chicago opens this afternoon. The $27 million flagship store is in the 400 block of Michigan Avenue along the Chicago River. It will replace the former flagship store further north on the Magnificent Mile. The doors, in case you're interested, opening up at 5 a.m. And then there's this story. The man known as the underwear bomber is suing the Justice Department for denying him his rights. The Nigerian man serving multiple life sentences for trying to set off that bomb in his underwear on a flight from Amsterdam to Detroit in 2009. He says it was his religious duty as a Muslim to wage jihad against the U.S. And now in a lawsuit filed in a Colorado federal court, says prison authorities are violating his constitutional rights by not allowing him to communicate with the outside world or practice his religion. That terrorist, you may recall, tried to set off a bomb on a Northwest Airlines flight with 289 on board. Oilers over the Blackhawks 2-1 last night. Raptors beat the shorthanded Bulls 117-101. Game 5 of the ALCS tonight for the Yankees and Astros. Astros back at home where they should take advantage. And last night in Thursday night football, Raiders snap a 4-game losing skid with a 31-30 victory over Kansas City. The news, a service of CiCi's. Want to taste the sauced and tossed flavors of CiCi's wings on your pizza? Well, now you can. New wing-inspired pizzas with honey barbecue, garlic parmesan, and buffalo chicken. Now on CiCi's buffet for just $5 and change. Prices may vary at participating locations for a limited time. 5:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher doesn't understand why we need to label the Las Vegas shooter.
Now, evidently, there's a huge debate raging in some quarters over why we're not calling the killer a terrorist. Of course this is terrorism. He's a domestic terrorist. So what?
What do you think that does?
It just fascinates me why that becomes an important issue to people.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Right now with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet, get one free. Visit us online at GalaxyHome.com to schedule your free in-home estimate. Save an additional $500 when you book right now.
There's a place where you can get custom metal products. If you manage a commercial kitchen, hotel, condo building, or food-grade manufacturing plant, then no matter the type of metal or size of the project, the skillfully trained fabrication team at Vans Industrial has you covered.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, president of Vans Industrial. Custom metal fabrication is the backbone of my company. We fabricate stainless steel countertops, wall coverings, hoods, landscape planter boxes, industrial fan housings, and more. Vans Industrial uses all types of alloys like carbon steel, aluminum, brass, and polished stainless steel. And we have a laser cutting machine. Our laser can customize almost any project. Our team can design, fabricate, and install your project today.
Call 219-931-4881 today for a free inspection of your facility. Interested in what else they do? Visit vansindustrial.com. That's VANS industrial.com. Vans Industrial. Customizing for you, the customer.
5:35 and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. At the far western edge of St. Charles, 64 North Avenue remains closed between Town Hall Road and Hanson. This is the Mary Meadows area, not too far east of Lily Lake after a major multi-alarm fire affecting a barn in that area. Edens is looking good right now. The Kennedy, delay-free. About Eisenhower, heavy Manheim to 25th. And 1st Avenue to Des Plaines Avenue. 32 minutes. Thorndale to downtown, outbound fine at 29. On Stevenson, got a 2-minute delay. Cicero to Pulaski, outbound it's clear. Inbound Ryan, delay start at 31st, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound it's 20. Road work, 83rd and 95th is now clearing. I-57, 16 minutes. I-80 to the verge. Bishopport 18. Tollways are fine. Northwest Indiana 2. Traffic is a service of Napa Auto Parts. This month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores, Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $4.29 a quart. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state and local taxes, recycling fees. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Pleasantly warm, sunshine mixed with some clouds, and a high of 77. Partly cloudy and mild, low 58. Tomorrow, partly sunny, breezy, and warm, high 77. Currently 51 at O'Hare, 57. Along the lakefront, it is 47 this morning in Aurora. Your next news update is at 6. Continuous news coverage at 560theanswer.com. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fly By Night with your host, comedian, and entertainer extraordinaire, Ken Severa. Saturdays at midnight on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, Joe Walsh here. A silly, immature country obsesses over phone calls. We'll set them straight when freedom returns at 5.
Morning, Dan and Amy. So, both W and O criticized our political climate yesterday. Barack Obama on the campaign trail for Democrat candidates for governor in Jersey and Virginia. And W at a George W. Institute event at which he spoke. The question I have, though, some of these interpretations, including like at Politico, George W. Bush slamps Trumpism.
No.
That's Politico's conclusion. I don't know that it was so obvious that W's comments were directed at least solely at Trump. Now, of course, Barack Obama, who's political, were clearly directed solely at Trump.
Well, I think President Obama and Bush were speaking with one voice about one person. Here's President Obama.
Instead of looking for ways to work together and get things done in a practical way, we've got folks who are deliberately trying to make folks angry, to demonize people who have different ideas, to get the base all riled up.
That could be about Steve Bannon, too, though.
I think it could be about Barack Obama. I think Barack Obama was talking about himself. He's projecting again. That's what he does. So Barack Obama, obviously, that's a standard issue Obama. He's political. George W. Bush, you'll remember, famously said in response to a question by Sean Hannity during the Obama presidency, I don't think it's good for the country to have a former president undermine a current president. I think it's bad for the presidency, for that matter, explaining why he doesn't publicly criticize Barack Obama and didn't during his time in office. So is George W. Bush having doing a reversal in what he had to say at his Institute event yesterday?
He didn't vote for President Trump, remember? He and his wife?
Or is he talking about the political climate writ large? Here's Bush and the pertinent part. You heard part of that during Mike Scott's newscast.
In recent decades, public confidence in our institutions has declined. Our governing class has often been paralyzed in the face of obvious and pressing needs. The American dream of upward mobility seems out of reach for some who feel left behind in a changing economy. Discontent deepened and sharpened partisan conflicts. Bigotry seems emboldened. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. Do you take W's comments as directed solely at Trump?
And then he went on to say this.
We've seen our discourse degraded by casual cruelty. At times, it can seem like the forces pulling us apart are stronger than the forces binding us together. We've seen nationalism distorted into nativism.
And when you talk about nationalism, I think of Steve Bannon, and maybe he was talking about Steve Bannon and President Trump. Maybe we're both, the mainstream media is completely wrong.
Well, I mean, maybe, I think he's talking comprehensively. I understand W and the Bush family, no fans of Trump. I get that. Yeah, I'm sure they didn't like the treatment Jeb received during the campaign. However,
when he was at home on Sundays having guacamole with his family, it's what he does for fun.
When he's not loving on the old man, HW.
I love my dad. I'd kill for my dad.
Yeah.
I go to jail for my dad.
But it seems to me when Trump is talking about bigotry, he's talking about the political climate, he's talking about the nature of discourse, that is across the board. His words, yes, in some instances could definitely apply to Trump, and certainly his interpretation of Trumpism and Bannonism, and the economic nationalism is essentially what we're getting at. But it also has wide application. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, what's happening on college campuses, what's happening in all the civic institutions that are sort of melting down under the weight of leftist politicization. So to take what Bush said there and the rest of his remarks and to assume that he's just zeroing in on Trump and now he's being critical without naming the president of a president seems to me something that W would be resistant to do, and I think he's making a more general comment. Barack Obama is a political hack. He's out on the campaign trail campaigning for Democrat candidates for governor. Of course he's talking about Trump.
George W. Bush, he's been so quiet and respectful his whole time since he left the Oval Office.
I think he still is. Look, he's going to disagree with Trump on specific policies, probably immigration at the top of the list, and his approach to immigration, if nothing but at least his rhetorical approach to immigration in some instances. That's not the same thing as making a comment, much of which I don't disagree with either. But the question is, who's the target? The D.C. press corps wants to make the target singular. It's just Donald Trump.
Right.
I think the target is much more. It is much more varied. Steve in Gary, Indiana.
Yeah, much broader.
Yes.
Two things. It's the liberals always project. They accuse you of doing exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
The other thing is that Bush admits that there is a ruling class.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. He did reference ruling class politicians, didn't he?
And he's part of the ruling class. He's part of the clique.
Thanks for the call, Steve. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, there is something to that. And of course, there's something else that both of the gentlemen who spoke in different forums yesterday, both of the former presidents, failed to acknowledge their culpability. So how did we get here? Did just that this light switch just get flipped after the 16 years of W and Obama? Or with the policy choices that they made in different realms at different times and the way they chose to address issues or let issues go unaddressed, did they sow the seeds of the discord they're decrying today? That's the self-accountability that one always searches for with those ruling class politicians, W speaking of, but often can't locate it.
Are we going to hear from Bill Clinton next?
That'd be lovely.
Is there a function he's going to be at today where he can chime in too?
Well, I know we'll hear from his co-president, Hillary, because we can't stop hearing from her, and I love it.
Do you know she broke her toe? She was on a book signing tour in London and this sounds scary, running down the stairs. I could not imagine her running, but I was running, and she had high heels on. Another thing I don't want to see, and tripped and fell and broke her big toe. So
wow.
She had to cancel that book signing.
All right, well, thoughts and prayers for Hillary Clinton's big toe.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the comedic skills of your House Speaker Paul Ryan. But first,
I guess his style, deadpan.
No, it's impressive. It was really good. You want to hear one of the jokes? Nah, well, you have to wait for it. Forecast for this weekend. We start on this Friday with pleasantly warm conditions. We're going to have some sun, some clouds, an unseasonably high of 77 degrees. Tomorrow, it's going to be partly sunny, breezy, warm, 77 degrees. Yes, get out your sunscreen, get out your golf clubs, do it all this weekend. It's going to be great. And then on Sunday, not as warm. We're going to have rain on and off and a high of 67 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is the one and only Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Amy and Dan. Good morning in St. Charles, far western St. Charles. North Avenue 64 remains closed. Town Hall Road in Hanson after a major barn fire. Edens is looking good at this hour. The Kennedy 2 reversibles are open inbound. Mount Eisenhower delays start at Manheim. 32 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Stevenson, 38 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Outbound 18, roadwork is clearing. 83rd to 95th. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the Burridge Bishop Ford, 20. Tollways are good. Northwest Indiana's fine as well. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hey, ChicagoRadioDeals.com has partnered with two amazing gun establishments to bring you a full curriculum of training classes. To the north in Lake Villa is Red Dot Arms. They're offering a Refuse to be a Victim seminar. Excuse me. Shouldn't eat while I'm reading. Which teaches basic skills for developing a strategy for your personal safety. Pair that with a home and firearm safety course. Now, this non-shooting class teaches you the safe handling and storage of firearms and ammunition in the home. Continue your training with a NRA basic pistol shooting class or the personal protection courses. Set your sights on all the deets of the deals that Red Dot Arms has to offer at ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Now to the south we go. In Bolingbrook is the range at 355. This state-of-the-art shooting range features electronic programmable targets and pure air filtration. Grab a deal for 12 hours of range time, a $396 value for only $195, plus a 16-hour, 2-day Illinois concealed carry class for only $100. Add pistol fundamentals and a small knife skills class. That's awesome. And you have all the bases covered. Find these Second Amendment deals and their details only at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
Got your head in the IT cloud? How are things in there? Confusing? When your business is considering the location for your precious data, or if you're already using the cloud and can't seem to navigate through, Turnkey IT is ready to clear things up. You need to be ready. It's estimated that by 2020, over 78% of all small businesses will be partially or totally using the cloud. The truth is, it's great for everyone in some way, but in what way for you? Turnkey IT can help your business understand the cloud and help you utilize it safely and securely. And sure, you may already be using Office 365, but there's so much more that the cloud can do. Turnkey IT is eager to educate you on what's best for your business. And don't forget, if you're frustrated by the lack of responsiveness or the high cost of your current IT company, Turnkey can help with that too. Clear up the cloudiness when it comes to the latest technology. Be sure your business is current. Visit turnkey.pro to make contact today. Turnkey.pro.
Message and data rates may apply.
Warning, texting while driving is illegal just about everywhere. So if you want to take advantage of a life-changing LASIK offer, pull over when you can, because a special opportunity is just one text away. The LASIK Vision Institute is offering absolutely free evaluations and dramatically low prices on high-quality LASIK. Text the keyword VALUE to 350350 to get the benefit of FDA-approved LASIK technology that gives the majority of patients 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Text to schedule your free appointment to see if LASIK is right for you. When you text VALUE to 350350, you'll also get an extra 20% discount off our already low-cost services. We've already performed over 1 million procedures. Today, it's your turn. Discover how you can get the quality LASIK experience you've always wanted for a fraction of what others charge. This great offer is just a text away. Text VALUE to 350350. That's VALUE to 350350.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, and Amy, you're not the only one concerned about Hillary's broken big toe. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I'm already concerned.
Ralph, you're breaking up.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
No, Ralph?
Cover up.
Ralph.
What did you
Ralph?
say, Ralph? Don't walk around with the phone.
Ralph, are
Oh,
you?
I'm in the woods, man.
Oh,
Sorry
okay.
about
All right.
that. Yeah. It's Earth environment is unfriendly to my phone.
Oh, sorry, Ralph.
well.
Sorry, we can't. You're breaking up on us. Sorry about
I think
that,
he was
Ralph.
trying to make it funny.
Ralph is a funny guy, but when you return to civilization, Ralph, give us a call.
He's in the woods. What is he, chasing Hillary?
He's hiding out.
Because she used to walk in the woods, to process the loss of the election.
Like a killer clown.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, that's right. Did you know House Speaker Paul Ryan? He's a comedian. He was the chosen to speak at the annual Al Smith fundraiser. And some jokes like
roast the president.
Ready? Here we go.
I know last year that Donald Trump offended some people. I know his comments, according to critics, went too far. Some said it was unbecoming of a public figure, and they said that his comments were offensive. Well, thank God he's learned his lesson.
That's funny. Oh, you didn't even...
That staccato delivery is kind of jarring.
All right, then he joked about Trump and Twitter.
Every morning, I wake up in my office and I scroll Twitter to see which tweets that I'll have to pretend that I did not see later on.
Yeah? No? He also joked around.
I mean, the bar is very low for Paul Ryan when it comes to being jokey because that's just not his bag. So, okay.
All right, well, he praised actress Patricia Heaton, who was at the event, calling her a Hollywood Republican. And he said, that is an oxymoron, which clearly was the word that Rex Tillerson was searching for. Okay. Right. This is great. Ryan said his favorite.
Your delivery is not much better, to be honest.
Ryan said his favorite time of the year was October. Here's how he said it, the punchline. We've got deer season. The leaves are changing. The beaches are empty, or as Chris Christie calls them, perfect. And then there's this joke.
At one point, the president actually insulted me. I know that sounds kind of surprising. He described me as a Boy Scout who's boring to talk to. It didn't hurt my feelings. What hurt my feelings was when my wife agreed with him.
Yeah.
That's funny.
You know why it's funny?
Because it's coming from him?
Because it's true.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Need a CPAP? Then we need you. We're CPAP.com, and we carry popular brands of CPAP equipment, including ResMed, Respironics, and more. To move inventory, we're selling some of our ResMed CPAP machines at prices lower than you would think. Call now to learn more about these affordable ResMed CPAPs. We'll even provide free shipping on your ResMed machine order so you'll get it fast. Call 1-800-600-7101. The best part? No insurance needed. Our CPAPs are priced so low they can even cost less than your copay and deductible through insurance. CPAP.com has shipped over 1 million orders and carries a large inventory of sleep apnea equipment. With little retail overhead and no middlemen, we're the best way to get comfortable, effective sleep apnea equipment at incredibly low prices. Again, CPAP.com has a large inventory of ResMed CPAPs and is offering free shipping on these devices. Call now for these great deals and others. Call 1-800-600-7101. If lines are busy, please try again. That's 1-800-600-7101.
A message from Foremost Capital Management in Geneva, Illinois. Investing in today's market is tough. The individual investor is at a disadvantage. How well are your investments positioned to deal with another meltdown? In 2008, the stock market dropped 21%. The Dow Jones has rallied over 4,000 points since the last U.S. election. Will this continue forever? Are your investments diversified with something uncorrelated to stocks? Foremost Capital Management specializes in managed futures trading. They connect clients with top traders and strategies. Let them show you how. If you're looking for diversification in your investments, contact Foremost Capital Management for a no-obligation consultation. Call Bob Miller at 888-BOB-MILLER. That's 888-262-6455. Again, 888-262-6455. Or visit ForemostCM.com. That's ForemostCM.com. Futures trading can involve substantial risk and may not be suitable for everyone.
Are you buying or selling a business or starting a business? Maybe you have legal problems with a business partner or employees, or are just drowning in new regulations. You need the support of a law firm that concentrates in a wide range of business law and tax matters. You need the corporate team at Kelleher & Buckley. Whether you're a local mom and pop shop, middle market business, or a large corporation or franchise, They provide cost-effective legal solutions to help your businesses thrive. The lawyers of Kelleher and Buckley focus on targeted legal advice tailored to meet the specific needs of your business. You deserve competent legal representation from a law firm maintaining a high level of knowledge about the ever-changing laws governing businesses. One that also includes accountants and tax specialists on board to provide your business bottom-line solutions. Kelleher and Buckley, LLC of North Barrington and Chicago is a legal solution provider that also includes estate planning, asset protection, life insurance planning, and litigation. Keep your business on track. Call 847-382-9130 or online at kelleherbuckley.com.
You can always count on Dennis Prager to go deeper into an issue.
It's so obvious to me that there are gradations of sin. A serial adulterer is not the same as a one-time adulterer. Otherwise, we're doomed. If everything is equal in the world of sin, then is everything equal in the world of good? So is everybody just morphed into some giant moral blob?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
5:57. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. We get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. In far western St. Charles, North Avenue 64 remains closed between Town Hall Road and Hanson to a multi-alarm barn fire. The fire has been put out. A lot of crews are still there. Eden's looking good. Kennedy inbound. A couple of slow pockets now. It is 22 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Make it 23 minutes now. Outbound 22. Heavy Bryn Mawr to Sayre. Mount Eisenhower slow. Manheim to Harlem. 34 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 30. Mount Stevenson 40 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. It's fine outbound. Ryan 22 minutes. 95th to Loop. Outbound work has cleared up. I-57 18 minutes. I-80 to the merge. Bishop 420. Traffic service to Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. Buy select HP printers at Staples and have ink automatically show up in your mailbox before you need it. Print up to 15 pages per month for free or upgrade to another plan. See staples.com/instaink for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, warm with sunshine, mixing with some clouds, high 77. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild, low 59. Partly sunny, breezy, and very warm tomorrow, high 77 and a low 63. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
51 at O'Hare, 57 along the lakefront. The news, a service of Farmers Insurance. As the road you travel changes, so do your insurance needs. Talking with a farmer's agent can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. Find an agent at farmers.com. 5:59 on AM 560, The Answer. Here are the stories we're following this morning. Jose Quintana got knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw. Cubs fall in Game 5 of the NLCS, 11-1, and they're bounced from the playoffs. An Aurora man going to federal prison, trying to fly to Syria to join a terror group, Abdullah Tunisi, sentenced to 15 years behind bars. Authorities are expected to reveal more information today about the Kanika Jenkins death case. More photos and documents are expected to be released by police. A 26-year-old Illinois man died after falling during a hike in Montana's Beartooth Mountains north of Yellowstone National Park. Oilers over the Blackhawks, 2-1. Raptors over the shorthanded Bulls, 117-101. More Dan and Amy after Fox. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
The Senate has approved a $4 trillion budget framework. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, but every Democrat voted against it, including Bob Menendez.
This budget sells America short. It's not what the American people believe our collective values would be.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland, live in Washington.
Dave, the $4 trillion budget calls for cuts from Medicare over a decade and more than $1 trillion from Medicaid. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell called the legislation a first step towards replacing a broken tax code.
A comprehensive, fiscally responsible budget that will help put the federal government on a path to balance.
Approval of the non-binding plan allows the Senate to use a special process known as budget reconciliation that would stop a Democratic filibuster. President Trump hailed the vote as great news in an overnight tweet. Dave.
Rachel, the president also tweeted last night that Congresswoman Frederica Wilson's wacky, again saying the Democrat lied about his phone call with the widow of his soldier. Wilson says the president was disrespectful and says John Kelly will say anything trying to keep his job, referring to the White House chief of staff.
I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing.
Kelly says calls to military families should be sacred, and he emotionally spoke about his son's death in Afghanistan, that the only calls that mattered to him were from his son's Marine buddies. Republican Senator John McCain's threatening subpoenas, wanting to know more about the ambush attack in Africa this month that killed the soldier President Trump called.
I'm told that during the search for Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, who was found 48 hours later, there were always either French, Nigerian, or U.S. troops on the ground looking for him. The notion that U.S. troops left someone behind is wrong, I'm told, from senior Pentagon officials.
Fox's Jennifer Griffin. They executed a cop killer last night in Alabama. Torrey McNabb cursed at the state, said, "I hate you," and as the drugs started to flow, he raised both middle fingers. Fox News. Fair and balanced.
On AM 560, The Answer. Your opinion counts. And we want to know how you feel about the news stories we're talking about each and every day. Make sure to vote in the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll at 560theanswer.com. Listen for today's poll question at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 p.m., and 3:30 p.m. And hear the results each evening at 5:30. It's the M13 Graphics Opinion Express poll on 560theanswer.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein, the show for business and jobs powered by Tandem HR. Heard Sunday evenings at 6.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. General Kelly's emotional, impassioned response to all of the politicization and swirl around presidents and politicians communicating with Gold Star families, particularly in the immediacy after notification that a loved one has been killed in service to this country. Really an incredible 18-minute foray from General Kelly. And here's the resolution I'd like to get some reaction to. General Kelly not only provided cover for Trump, and I don't mean that like he was being disingenuous, because I think he was being exactly the opposite.
He told the real story.
He did what Trump should have done, which is to explain himself. General Kelly, on the process that unfortunately he had to go through as well, he and his family.
So I just wanted to perhaps make more of a statement and an explanation, give more of an explanation than what amounts to be a traditional press interaction. Most Americans don't know what happens when we lose one of our soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, or Coast Guardsmen in combat. So let me tell you what happens. Their buddies wrap them up in whatever passes as a shroud, puts them on a helicopter as a routine, and sends them home. Their first stop along the way is when they're packed in ice, typically at the airhead, and then they're flown to usually Europe. where they're then packed in ice again and flown to Dover Air Force Base, where Dover takes care of the remains, embalms them, meticulously dresses them in their uniform with the medals that they've earned, the emblems of their service, and then puts them on another airplane linked up with a casualty officer escort that takes them home. A very, very good movie to watch if you haven't ever seen it is Taking Chance, where this is done in a movie HBO setting. Chance Phelps was killed under my command right next to me. And it's worth seeing that if you've never seen it.
Yeah, and I have seen it. If you haven't seen it, General Kelly's absolutely right. I mean, it's powerful, and Kevin Bacon, who stars in Taking Chance as the casualty officer in question, is just does an incredible job. There's another movie, too, I thought of when I was listening to General Kelly's comments, and that's We Were Soldiers, if you've seen that, the Mel Gibson movie. And, you know, his wife, played by Madeline Stowe, who's back at the base, and starts getting those yellow cards, and she's the one that's charged with having to go to the wives and inform them that their husband has been killed. And then the wives start to get together with her as the casualties pile up, and notification is sent back. And, you know, there's this really powerful scene where, you know, these women, Madeline Stowe confronts another wife at the door, and then these women gather up and they're walking down the street together, you know, tears streaming. I mean, it's powerful stuff, and I'm so glad General Kelly spoke about this, because it was clearly difficult for him to do so, but he went on to talk
he's
about...
He's been so fiercely private when it comes to matters of his son.
But this is an education for America. And so he's doing a public service, even though this is clearly difficult for him. And he went on to talk about these casualty officers.
A casualty officer typically goes to the home very early in the morning and waits for the first lights to come on. And then he knocks on the door. Typically the mom and dad will answer, wife. And if there is a wife, this is happening in 2 different places. If the parents are divorced, 3 different places. And the casualty officer proceeds to break the heart of a family member and stays with that family until, for a long, long time, even after the internment. So that's what happens. Who are these young men and women? They are the best 1% this country produces.
You're making me cry over here.
That's tough. It's tough stuff. And you can... I mean, you felt it through the screen how heartfelt and difficult that was for General Kelly, who's otherwise a stoic individual. Kelly also went on then to talk about the phone call.
And what really happened.
But before he got to that, there was another great moment, important moment in 18 minutes of important moments that General Kelly offered. And that was talking about the phone calls that actually matter to the families.
And the president typically writes a letter. Typically, the only phone calls the family receives are the most important phone calls they can imagine, and that is from their buddies. In my case, hours after my son was killed, his friends were calling us from Afghanistan, telling us what a great guy he was. Those are the only phone calls that really matter. And yeah, the letters count to a degree, but there's not much that really can take the edge off what a family member is going through.
So to the phone call.
Yes.
To the phone call. And the advice that was sought and the advice that was received, General Kelly explaining his interaction with the president prior to the call in question to Sergeant Johnson's widow.
So he called 4 people the other day and expressed his condolences in the best way that he could. And he said to me, "What do I say?" I said to him, "Sir, there's nothing you can do to lighten the burden on these families. But let me tell you what I tell them. And let me tell you what my best friend, Joe Dunford, told me, because he was my casualty officer. He said, Kel, he was doing exactly what he wanted to do when he was killed. He knew what he was getting into. by joining that 1%. He knew what the possibilities were because we're at war. And when he died, in the 4 cases we're talking about, Niger, my son's case in Afghanistan, when he died, he was surrounded by the best men on this earth, his friends. That's what the president tried to say to 4 families the other day. I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing. A member of Congress who listened in on a phone call from the President of the United States to a young wife, and in his way tried to express that opinion. He's a brave man, a fallen hero. He knew what he was getting himself into because he enlisted. There's no reason to enlist. He enlisted. And he was where he wanted to be, exactly where he wanted to be, with exactly the people he wanted to be with when his life was taken. That was the message. That was the message that was transmitted.
Yeah, and it's so unbelievable. First of all, I love that he didn't say her name. Congress, he just said a member of Congress. Didn't mention her name, but what she interpreted that happened and what really happened are 2 huge, vastly different occurrences.
Well, imagine a member of Congress who wants to see the president impeached, not interpreting the conversation in his favor, right?
Because that's what happened.
We shouldn't be surprised by that necessarily. But before we even get to that, though, there's this other piece. He went on to talk about things that are sacred or used to be sacred in this country that are no longer sacred. And this is a really important riff, too, from General Kelly.
It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought at least that was sacred. You know, when I was a kid growing up, a lot of things were sacred in our country. Women were sacred and looked upon with great honor. That's obviously not the case anymore, as we see from recent cases. Life, the dignity of life, was sacred. That's gone. Religion, that seems to be gone as well. Gold Star families, I think that left in the convention over the summer. But I just thought the selfless devotion that brings a man or woman to die on the battlefield, I just thought that that might be sacred. And when I listened to this woman and what she was saying and what she was doing on TV, the only thing I could do to collect my thoughts was to go and walk among the finest men and women on this earth. And you can always find them because they're in Arlington National Cemetery. Went over there for an hour and a half, walked among the stones, some of whom I put there because they were doing what I told them to do when they were killed.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro, answer line 64636DA, turnkey.pro, text line. I mean, there's so much there that requires reflection, and certainly is the product of great reflection on General Kelly's part. Important stuff. But in terms of this controversy, I go back to the outset and say, so here's what so has President Trump been vindicated in terms of what he tried to do and the offhanded comment he made about, we'll ask General Kelly, and President Obama didn't call him. He's been vindicated, I think, because I take General Kelly at his word, particularly given his perspective on this issue. Been vindicated in what he was attempting to do in making that call to the family, which is sort of obvious, right? You're not. Why would anybody call a family to be anything other than respectful in that moment where a widow is going to recover the body of her husband who died on the battlefield for this country? So that's sort of the default position you would, and the benefit of the doubt you would give any president of the United States. But what Kelly did that Trump didn't is explain himself.
Right.
Provide details. You're getting it wrong, D.C. Press Corps. You're hyperventilating. Here's the if I'm going to reference the conversation I had with General Kelly, then I might as well reference it in some detail to give you context. Here was the conversation. I sought General Kelly's advice because he's experienced something I never have and never will. So I sought his advice and counsel, and it was his advice and counsel that I tried to translate to the widow of Sergeant Johnson. That would have been the end of it. Instead, we have a week-long carnival act that involves President Trump in part, and this.
Now she's again Frederick Wilson on CNN. I want to rip that cowboy hat off of her and her fake eyelashes.
Well, and here's what she said yesterday. This was caught. Frederica Wilson enjoying all the newfound
Attention?
celebrity.
You mean to tell me that I have become so important that the White House is following me and my word? This is amazing. It's amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal. I have to tell my kids that I'm a rock star now.
She's a rock star now. And she's saying, she was sort of saying yesterday in response to Kelly's press conference that his criticism is a lie. I mean, so who are you going to believe? Frankly, a member of Congress, it doesn't even have to be Frederica Wilson, it just happens to be at this point, or General Kelly, particularly on this topic.
Yeah.
Not a close call.
No, of course. And General Kelly, I mean, everyone in the press corps, absolutely, they love him. And when he speaks, they listen. And the magnitude of what he's saying, you could watch. They did a cutaway shot. Was just, it weighed on their hearts. And it weighed on everyone's heart who was watching it. I mean, I started crying when I saw it. And you're playing it again, and I'm still crying.
Well, and General Kelly, there were moments where he had to hold it together.
Yeah.
You could clearly see the expression on his face. And, you know, there are few men on this planet that are tougher than that individual. So,
but then Wilson, so she's still on the, sucking up this limelight that she's getting. But President Trump tweeted after General Kelly spoke and said the fake news is going crazy with wacky Congresswoman Wilson, Democrat, who was secretly on a very personal call and gave a total lie on content. ! Stop. I don't want to talk about this issue again, about who's calling who and what the conversations are.
Well, here's the thing. So you can say, people are going to say, I know people are going to say that President Trump was vindicated by Kelly, and I just said that. I think he has been on the substance of the matter. Stylistically, I don't think he's been vindicated. Because you think that this advances his position, this generates more political capital for him, this makes him look better, this enhances his standing in the public that is open-minded but not necessarily with the president at present? I don't think so. And the difference in approach between the president and his chief of staff on this issue makes a big difference. Makes a big difference. Even if, as we're seeing, he's going to get bailed out, the president, by the unhinged left, as now represented by Maxine Waters' understudy, Frederica Wilson.
Yeah, exactly.
Take some calls. Rich in Woodstock, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning.
Morning.
This just seemed an opportune moment for me to call up and mention there's a woman, Sandy Barkus in McHenry, who is a Gold Star mother, is having a spaghetti fundraiser at the McHenry VFW November 4th to raise money for Collier House, which is named after her son, Collier Barkus, who gave his life in Iraq in 2004.
Okay.
So I just, I don't want to get into the controversy about this, but it seemed, an appropriate time to bring this up, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah, absolutely. November 4th.
Good.
Collier House is a home out in the middle of nowhere, Wyoming, that they have for families that they're going through this trauma. They can go there and get away, get some respite, and kind of regroup.
Okay. Very cool. All right. Thanks for the call, Rich. Appreciate that.
And shame on that Democrat, Wilson, I don't even want to say her name, and shame on CNN because they have brought so many Gold Star families onto their program in the past 2 days, pretty much nonstop. Say, well, did you get a phone call? Did you get a phone call? Did you get a phone call from President Trump? No, but Vice President Pence was. I mean, they all have different stories, but it's just they're exploiting this situation. They're politicizing it, and I want it to end.
There's another Gold Star project I just became aware of when I spoke in Peoria last week, and It's if you go to americasgoldstarfamilies.org, they have a banner project they're doing out there to honor the men and women who've been as hometown heroes, the men and women who have died on the battlefield for this country. America's Gold Star Families, America's goldstarfamilies.org, if you want to get more information about that, too. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Morning, guys. How are you doing this morning?
Morning.
If you listen to General Kelly as he spoke in the first couple of minutes, the one thing that really stuck out to me is when he said that President Trump, asked him, what do I say?
Right.
It goes to show you the difficulty of the situation that this man, who we've seen on TV before, handle almost all situations, always had some kind of quirky comeback and really quick-witted, was completely shocked and stunned, had no idea on what to do. I think right there shows you that the sincerity of, he was just blown away. He's never been in a situation like that where he's had to call or contact the grieving family and let them know, about their son to say, I'm sorry. He was shocked, so he looked to somebody who's been through it. And, General Kelly gave him the advice. And I think, with that being said, it goes to show you that he maybe, he spoke a little, but what the point that he was trying to get to was a sincerity. I think that this.
Yeah, but Lewis, let me ask you this question, Lewis. Though, how much better would it have been if Trump had disclosed what General Kelly disclosed at the outset of this and just ended it? I was searching for the words. I leaned on General Kelly because he knows and I don't.
That would have been, it would have been great because it shows that, that where he's trying to come across with his message, and that he didn't have the exact words, but he's leaning to a man who's been through the situation.
Right.
I've actually had some calls from, we've been with family members and some calls when I was in service, and they weren't from presidents, but they were from base generals and other people, and even those gentlemen who have led, Marines in my situation through war were in complete shock and utter disbelief of how to convey. How do you talk to somebody who's just lost, pretty much their world?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people are so quick to judge and to criticize, but they need to take a step back and put themselves in that situation. How would they be able to do that? How would they be able to react? So.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Thanks for the call, Lewis. I appreciate that, and sharing your story as well, and your friends. It's not that I or anybody else would handle it any better than Trump, particularly if he's talking about military men who have a difficult time. That's why General Kelly referred to the casualty officers as the best that America has to offer because of the difficulty, and encourage people to see taking chance and whatnot. But it's the president explaining his process the way that General Kelly explained the process.
He can't. He doesn't. Rhetorically, he can't connect the words. Words are hard sometimes. And I'm sure he did say exactly what General Kelly told him to say, but it probably came out as a brass New Yorker, because that's what he is. I mean,
right.
It's not that he doesn't have a heart, but some people are more compassionate than others, and some people are smarter than others, and some are more diplomatic than others.
And if the widow misinterpreted what he was trying to say, okay, fine, that's understandable. But all he has to do is explain, provide a little bit of context,
a little bit of clarity,
what I was trying to do, what I was trying to communicate, and who I leaned on to help me find the best way I know how to communicate in this awful situation. It's just not that complicated. And President Trump clearly has the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
I think it's a discipline issue. Patrick in Glenview.
Good morning. First, I have to say I was not in that car and heard what President Trump said, as did anybody else. We're taking the Congresswoman's word on it, and we're taking.
Well, we're not taking her word on it, actually.
We're getting her say on it, and a poor widow. We did not hear about the other three families, how those calls went. This Congresswoman did not go to the inauguration. She was the one there claiming the government was against Trayvon Martin the whole time. Who knew the murder was? She's a headline catcher. That's part of the deals with the hats that she wears. That's what she is. She's venom. She's low class. She is the problem of Congress. No matter what Trump said or didn't say, they would have found something there.
Yeah.
And they still do when you read.
Thanks for the call, Patrick. Well, I mean, there's no defending Congressman Wilson as far as I'm concerned. Scott on the West Side.
Hey, Dan and Amy, thanks for taking my call. Dan, the way Trump says stuff isn't always correct, but however, I think that the press especially also twists what he says to fit their narrative. But I watched John Kelly, and I was very impressed with him. And I believe that, like they have the guys doing the sign language at news conferences for the deaf, John Kelly should stand next to Trump every time he speaks and interpret what he's saying for us, because I think it would lead us down a different path in this country.
Thanks for the call, Scott. Bob in Waukegan.
Yeah, Dan and Amy, it's good to talk to you again. I remembered a thing I heard on the Moody Bible Institute station years ago. Pastor Ford was preaching a sermon. Pastor Ford is black. Most of his congregation is black. He was looking out over the congregation, and he saw all these guys dressed up really fly, with their hats on and stuff. And he said, he looked out at the congregation, and he goes, I see a lot of $500 hats on 5-cent heads.
Thanks, Bob. It's clearly a reference to the good Congresswoman.
Yeah.
Dan in Palos Heights.
Hey, I sort of disagree with you a little bit on the issue. I think no matter what Trump would have said and how he would have put it, the media would have jumped all over it. I think he did the right thing by going to General Kelly, Dan. I really do.
Well, for sure. For sure on that.
Oh, yeah.
He should have explained it. That's part of my issue.
Yeah, he should have explained it. I do agree to some extent, but right now, I would be as a leader myself, I would be so frustrated. I wouldn't be able to find the words to go out there. I would have to rely on somebody else. I lost my mother. I lost my brother. So how do you go about trying to go out and explain? You just can't. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the call, Dan. Yeah, I mean, I get that, but the other thing is it's not a competition. So he can just focus on what he's doing rather than referencing what he thinks or President Obama or other presidents have done or have not done in this area. It's unnecessary. It's undisciplined, and it walks him into controversies he could otherwise avoid.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Join the fun at the Ultimate Sports Dome in Aurora for the inaugural Golf, Fitness, and Home Tent Sale. This 3-day event happens October 27th, 28th, and 29th and showcases products and services for golf equipment and clothing, home improvement, sports, fitness, and nutrition. There really is something for everyone. Ladies can shop for home items, while the men can find golf stuff. And fitness buffs can find everything from nutrition to the latest in fitness equipment. Get an early start on Christmas shopping. You'll find great gifts for everyone. Plus, enjoy fun and games for shoppers to stay active. A long putt contest, closest to the pin, basketball and shooting contest, bouncy houses for the kids, and so much more. It's going to be a great time with great deals. Don't miss the Golf, Fitness, and Home Tent Sale, October 27th, 28th, and 29th. Doors open at 11 a.m. on Friday and 10 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Only at the Ultimate Sports Dome, 1900 Hill Avenue in Aurora. Admission is only $5 and kids 12 and under free. For all the info, go to sportzonepark.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
They really have made a difference. I mean, when I started taking them, I could not tie my shoes because of the knee pain. I have arthritis in it. And I actually bent down and tied my shoes by mistake. I was so used to not being able to do it. I couldn't believe I did it. And that was shortly after starting the Balanced Nature.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code WIND.
Shopping for your next luxury vehicle? Looking to save time with an easy, honest experience? That's what you get at Continental Audi of Naperville. We have over 180 new Audi vehicles to choose from, and we are the only Audi dealer with a test track. For a limited time, lease the award-winning 2017 Audi A4 Premium for $439 a month, or lease a 2018 Audi A6 for $569 a month. Drive an Audi and feel the difference. Drive an Audi from Continental and experience the difference an exceptional dealer can make. Visit us at ContinentalAudi.com or Continental Audi in Naperville at Aurora and Ogden Avenues. Experience the Continental Audi difference, where smiles are standard equipment. ContinentalAudi.com. 36-month leases, A43554 and A64684. Due at signing, plus tax, title, license, and acquisition fee extra. Must qualify through Audi Financial Services. See dealer for full details.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Sex rehab doesn't appear to be taking for Harvey Weinstein, the human stain. Maybe jail will get his attention at 6:36.
And more people are coming forward knowing that they knew about his bad behavior. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, 57 degrees. Senate Republicans pass a 2018 budget resolution. Final vote, 51-49, moving the budget forward, allows the Senate to begin the big push for tax reform. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly speaking publicly about the recent tragedy in Niger.
There's investigation ongoing. An investigation doesn't mean anything was wrong. An investigation doesn't mean people's heads are going to roll. The fact is, they need to find out what happened and why it happened.
4 U.S. soldiers were killed in an attack by terrorists affiliated with ISIS. President Trump calls a South Florida congresswoman wacky. Trump tweeting last night what so-called fake news is doing is going crazy over Miami Democrat Frederica Wilson. The president said Wilson was secretly on a very personal call and gave a total lie about that call. Former President Barack Obama taking some jabs at the Trump White House and New Jersey Governor Chris Christie as he returns to the campaign trail for the first time since leaving office. At a Newark rally yesterday for a Democratic gubernatorial candidate, the president did not mention Donald Trump, but made his displeasure well known.
The world counts on America having its act together.
Former President George W. Bush also was warning about the state of play in American politics yesterday.
Some have called this Democratic deconsolidation. Really, it seems to be a combination of weariness, frayed tempers, and forgetfulness.
The former president also warned about Russian interference in U.S. elections. An Italian model and actress is the 6th woman to accuse Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault and harassment. California fire officials say all of the deadly fires burning in the wine country should be contained by early next week. At least 42 have died. 36 are missing in those fires that began the night of October 8th. A California boy is the 8th child to be killed by an IKEA dresser, recalled more than a year ago. Southern California couple says their 2-year-old son died when a 3-drawer IKEA dresser fell over and crushed him during nap time. Jose Quintana knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw. Cubs bounced out of the playoffs, 11-1 in Game 5 of the NL Championship Series. Dodgers are simply a better team after leading the majors with 104 wins. Authorities are expected to reveal more information later today about the death of Kanika Jenkins. Authorities say police will release more photographs and documents to the public. Chicago sports found the Oilers over the Blackhawks last night, 2-1 in overtime. Raptors beat the shorthanded Chicago Bulls in the NBA Lid Lifter, 117-101 last night. The news service of Napa Auto Parts this month at participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Napa Full Synthetic Motor Oil is on sale for just $4.29 a quart. Quality parts, helpful people, that's Napa know-how. General States pricing, sale prices do not include applicable state and local taxes or recycling fees. 6:35, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Don't let the flu turn you into a zombie with a fever this Halloween season. With the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, you won't be tricked by any spooky symptoms.
Hi, this is Vance from Armbrust Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. Armbrust Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning is a 100-year-old company in the center of DuPage County. The only way that we can exist doing work with the same people decade after decade and their children and their grandchildren is by being an honest and ethical company doing what's in our clients' best interest so they refer us generation after generation. And at Armbrust Plumbing, we are always looking out for our clients' best interests by getting the job done right the first time with fair and honest pricing. To accomplish that, we only hire technicians with experience. All of our technicians at Armbrust have had at least 5 years of field experience combined with classroom experience. Our technicians are the best in the industry. They're the best trained in the industry, and they all value what they do as a career. We occupied the same shop for nearly 50 years. Now we've moved to a more modern facility to better serve our clients in Carroll Stream. We service the DuPage County area and western Kane counties.
Armbrust Plumbing and Heating Solutions. Find them at armbrusstsolutions.com. ARMBRUST Solutions.com.
Hi, my name is Ray McElroy, former Chicago Bears player and chaplain and founder and CEO of the nonprofit Array of Hope on Earth. You know, running a successful nonprofit organization that serves at-risk, underserved youth in the inner city of Chicago presents its own set of challenges. I am so relieved that as a small, newer organization, we don't have to count our payroll and HR responsibilities as one of them because of the amazing service we receive from Precision Payroll of America. Not only do I appreciate the professional quality of Precision Payroll of America, but I also love that their values of faith, family, and fair and comprehensive service align perfectly with our own.
Thank you, Ray. For our great services, call me at 630-242-1507 or on the web at precisionpayroll.com. To support a great cause, check out arrayofhopeonearth.org.
Tom, you're the best, bro.
No, man, you're the best.
No, you're the best.
Oh, you the man.
No, for real, though. You the man.
It is 6:37 and a check of your morning commute. We do that in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center and get the very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The northbound tri-state has stop-and-go traffic from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway a little heavy approaching Kennedy. The other tollways are still okay. The Edens inbound is 24 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 21. Kennedy 33 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 33 as well. Inbound Eisenhower. Slow Manheim to past Harlem and Cicero to the Circle. 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 35. Outbound Stevenson 45 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 38. Ryan, 24 minutes, 95th to downtown, I-57, 20 minutes, Society to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 27. Traffic, it's the service of Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. I select HP printers at Staples and have ink automatically show up in your mailbox before you need it. Print up to 15 pages per month for free or upgrade to another plan. See staples.com/Insta Ink for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Very pleasant Friday ahead. Sunshine will mix with clouds. We'll top out at 77. For your high school football Friday night, low of 58, partly cloudy and mild. Currently 51 at O'Hare, 57 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is sponsored by Wine Time Radio. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. on AM 560. Explore the wonderful world of wine with host James Crooker and Rob Lehner.
More of Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy comes your way now. And make sure to join me, Larry Elder, tonight at 7. Only on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, this comes as a real shock to you, I'm sure. The human stain not taken to sex rehab, in quotation marks, particularly well, according to Page 6. He's falling asleep in sessions, talking on his phone. It's reported to be an inpatient facility, but he's actually getting outpatient treatment where he can spend nights at a hotel.
That is not being treated for your addiction.
As
because
I said,
you know what
he's
he
not
does?
taking it, and it's not an addiction, it's a character flaw.
You know what he does in the hotel rooms, too? Wears his robe, asks people for massages or watching him shower. I mean, that's sick. He's not taking it seriously, which means you're right. It's his character and moral choices he's making rather than an addiction.
One source told Emily Smith at Page 6, in one group therapy session, Harvey arrived 15 minutes late. Then when it was his turn to speak, he launched into a speech about how this is all a conspiracy against him. People are conspiring against
Oh, yeah.
them.
That's what you do.
Mhm.
It's their fault, not mine. Meanwhile, 2 hours yesterday, that Italian model actress, she met with Los Angeles police for a few hours and provided them with details of the allegations that he raped her in a hotel room in 2013.
This is different. This is a different Italian model and actress because this one her name has not been disclosed.
Right.
This is not the one that was on the Italian Filipino model.
Not the one dating Anthony Bourdain either. She's an Italian, too.
Okay.
He likes the Italians.
This Italian Filipino model was the one that we played earlier in the week. That was on the undercover NYPD sting, right? The audio that was released, her undercover for NYPD in a sting targeting Harvey Weinstein. Now, LAPD has a different Italian model and actress accusing Harvey Weinstein of rape.
Yeah, she's the 6th woman to accuse him of rape or forcible sex acts.
And this is interesting because this one is clearly within the four corners of the statute of limitations.
Mm-hmm.
So she alleges the rape occurred in February of 2013. She said to LAPD detectives, according to the LA Times, the woman even showed him photos of her children to try and deter him from raping her. So,
yeah, she's a 38-year-old woman who's, asked for her name to be, left out of it to protect her children and their privacy.
And she spoke with the LA Times as well, once describing what happened. Once inside, Weinstein shows up to her hotel, invites himself up to her room. She rebuffed his advances, but he showed up to her door anyway. He gets in. He asked me questions about myself, but soon became very aggressive and demanding and kept asking to see me naked. He grabbed me by the hair and forced me to do something I didn't want to do. Then he dragged me to the bathroom and forcibly raped me. LAPD did confirm that they're investigating these allegations.
And she said that he acted like nothing happened afterward. And
she also said that
went on with his business.
She also said, you said, well, why did she take so long to come forward and so forth? Well, prosecutors are, again, according to a former sex crimes prosecutor, they're considering the fact that the woman says she confided in 3 individuals around the time of the assault.
And she told her priest and a friend and a nanny what had happened.
Right. So, that goes to her credibility if you're a prosecutor trying to put together a case that can pass the reasonable doubt standard, right?
She said after the incident, he invited her to parties at his home, and not once did she attend any of his functions.
Mm-hmm. So maybe, as I said, maybe prison will get Harvey Weinstein's attention. It sounds like if these allegations prove to be true and others like them, that's where he may be going. And if those allegations are true, that's where he should be going for a long, long time. Then you won't have to worry about him resuscitating his career in Hollywood.
38 years old, and she was 34 at the time. So this is 4 years ago. They said that she's a well-known actress model in Italy, and she appeared on the cover of Italian Vogue.
And so with stories like this continuing to come out, the flip side is the mea culpa is continuing to flow. The latest from Quentin Tarantino. I knew enough to do more than I did. There was more to it than just the normal rumors, the normal gossip. It wasn't secondhand. I knew he did a couple of these things. I wish I had taken responsibility for what I heard. If I had done the work I should have done then, I would not have had to work with him. What I did was marginalize these incidents, Tarantino went on to say. Anything I say now will sound like a crappy excuse. The men without chests in Hollywood.
There's another actress coming forward, too. Oscar-winning actress Lupita Nyong'o. Am I pronouncing her name correctly? African-American woman. She said that she was harassed by Harvey Weinstein while his family was in the next room. And she feels guilty about not having come forward.
The human stain. Now...
She said, real quick, she said he was one of the first people she met in the industry, Jan, and he told her, this is the way it is. This is what you got to do. to make it through and make it in one of my movies.
Against the backdrop of Harvey Weinstein, and also what General Kelly had to say yesterday about what things that used to be sacred, and he referenced women used to be sacred.
Mm-hmm.
And the lessons learned, if any, on the left coast there. Appeals court in San Francisco allows challenge to state law banning prostitution. Advocates of legalized prostitution took the challenge to California's 145-year-old ban on commercial sex before a federal appeals court Thursday, and were given another chance to show why the law should be set aside. I mean, you have people, we want to legalize drugs because it's all about tax revenue for the state, and it's all about people doing whatever they want to do, these allegedly self-regarding actions. Libertarians who can't distinguish between libertinism and libertarianism. What about that? Why don't we legalize prostitution too? It's just, it's different than Weinstein.
Profession.
It's different than Weinstein. It's consensual. We could tax it, legalize and tax it, right?
I see where you're going.
Isn't that what it's?
We don't need casinos. We need prostitution.
Isn't that what it's about? In a state like Illinois, to some extent, a state like California, if you separate out Silicon Valley, mob economies, drugs, gambling, why not prostitution? I mean, we effectively have protection rackets, too, at least in Chicago and Illinois. So it seems like prostitution's that last pillar of the modern kleptocratic economy in places like Illinois and California, again, sans Silicon Valley. So, what about that? You think lessons are learned here? What do you think the position is in all of those that are offering their mea culpas now and coming forward? Those that don't pass judgment, have no position on somebody else's choices. What about that?
I'm reading the list of Democratic politicians he donated to. What about the $45,800 he gave Barack Obama? Did they give it back, or are they donating it to a charity?
What about the
Hillary Clinton?
Wait. What about celebrating Hugh Hefner? What about the cultural matter? The politicians are the politicians. What about the cultural matter? Does it matter? Are there lessons being taken away from this? Does General Kelly's words about what is sacred or used to be and should be, does that matter? Or is it just the how the money changed hands and who's rushing to try and separate themselves from the stain, trying to get their portion of the stain out? Why not? None of this is connected. Celebrating Hugh Hefner's life and times. The great Hugh Hefner, great businessman. Any dots connected? No, didn't think so.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The FAA is investigating flying turkeys in Arkansas.
Yeah. Is it a joke or is this animal abuse? Grab a line. Gobble up a line. 312-642-5600. We're always here for you. It's our Turnkey.Pro answer line. Today's going to be very warm. Sunshine, high clouds, 77 degrees for a high. Saturday it's going to be spectacular. Partly sunny, breezy. We could hit a high of 80 degrees. And on Sunday, we get back to reality. It's not as warm. Occasional rain and a high of 67 degrees. Let's get into our alarm detection systems traffic center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Good morning. Morning, Dan. On the Kennedy Expressway outbound, it's a little heavy approaching O'Hare. There's a crash on 190 westbound at River Road. The Kennedy outbound with scattered delays starting at Division. 43 minutes to get out to O'Hare. Inbound 42 minutes. 17 minutes from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Eden's 24 minutes, Lake Cook to the Kennedy. Outbound, it's 21 minutes. The Eisenhower, looking at 49 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 41. Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. 48 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 48, 3:55. Ryan, 22 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go Archer to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Other tollways still look okay, and Northwest Indiana's fine. I'm Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Target moving into voice-activated shopping. Airports back to normal today after computer glitches, and Janet Yellen speaks tonight. Those stories next. Are you being intimidated by the IRS? Rapid Resolution Tax Group is a team of tax attorneys, enrolled agents, and tax professionals who've helped thousands of people with problems just like yours, and they promise not to let the IRS intimidate you. If you are an individual or business who owes at least $10,000 to the IRS, you can turn to them for help. Has your bank account been levied? Do you have years of unfiled tax returns? Let Rapid Resolution Tax Group intervene for you. They're accredited with and A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and they guarantee same-day contact with the IRS. If you qualify, Rapid Resolution Tax Group can work towards settling your tax debt for less, removing penalties and fees, and stopping levies and garnishments. Call the professionals at Rapid Resolution Tax Group at 800-601-2929. That's 800-601-2929. Target entering the voice-activated shopping arena, deepening its relationship with Google as the retailer continues its battle with online giant Amazon. Walmart and Home Depot already partnering with Google on both iPhone and Android. Friday economic reports include an update on existing home sales. Fed Chair Janet Yellen tonight delivers a lecture on monetary policy, possibly offering more clues on the date of the next interest rate hike. Authorities at airports around the globe hoping to see fewer glitches in passenger check-in systems today. Yesterday, airlines using the Amadeus system based in Spain had disruption in service, including some delays at London's Heathrow. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do each morning on this show. Long-form interviews with opinion leaders and policymakers in our Against the Current series, podcast of Illinois Rising, covering state policy and politics, airs Sundays at 3 p.m. on these airwaves. My 60 Seconds of Sanity commentaries, 2-minute warnings from Pat Hughes at Illinois Opportunity Project. Man on the Street, Follow the Logic segments, our new series, Heart of the Matter, featuring professional women speaking collegially about the salient issues of the day. This week's installment features a discussion on HB 40, that taxpayer funding of abortion on demand legislation that Governor Rauner signed. And then don't forget our sister site, defendhomeowners.com, defendhomeowners.com, where you get a free property tax report on your home. Really important value-added information about your property taxes and your home value. Defendhomeowners.com and upstream-ideas.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I love it. I see a tremendous difference in my skin, in my nails, in my hair, in my energy.
Unlike the people that I hear on the radio, you know, I've had vitamins before, but this is makes a much bigger difference than vitamins ever did. That's for sure.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's balanceofnature.com. Promo code WIND.
You've put off that new vehicle long enough. Now there's absolutely no excuse.
Get to Joe Cotton Ford during their model year-end sales event. They're making room for next year's models, and that means you'll save big.
You'll get the best rebate offers of the year and save hundreds to thousands on brand new 2017 Fords.
Plus, all new vehicles come with the Joe Cotton Ford Advantage program. You'll save on maintenance, vehicle protection, and more.
There's a reason generations of Ford buyers and their families keep coming back to family-owned and operated Joe Cotton Ford. It's all about a different car buying experience with world-class customer service and people you can trust.
No hassles, no drama, and no high-pressure sales tactics now and for as long as you own your vehicle.
There's still a great selection during the Ford model year-end sales event, but hurry, it won't last.
Get to Joe Cotton Ford today and drive home your new Ford car, truck, or SUV. Gary and North Avenue and Carroll Stream, or at joecottonford.com. That's joecottonford.com.
The war on depression is over.
You win.
Depression, with all the drugs and side effects, the endless counseling, the frustration with life and relationships.
The war is over. You win.
In a few short weeks, your life will change.
It's TMS therapy.
Over 1 million people have been treated, and the results are nothing short of outstanding. It's FDA cleared. It's covered by most insurance, including Blue Cross Blue Shield and Medicare.
Most drugs and other treatments just mask the depression.
TMS treats the cause, so you can win the war with your depression. Remission or cure.
Depression gone.
Get a free consultation at one of the HPR centers in Chicagoland and Wisconsin. Ask questions.
For you or someone you love, safe, revolutionary, effective treatment for depression.
Let depression recovery begin. HPR centers.
800-604-0208. 800-604-0208.
Go to endmydepression.com.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
Hey, have you been looking for the perfect engagement ring, one that's unique and as individual as your beloved? The search is over. At MJ Miller & Company in downtown Barrington, the experts at MJ Miller are confident you will find a gorgeous setting that speaks volumes about your personal style and your commitment. They have over 100 to choose from. Then, take your time and select the perfect center diamond in a stress-free, collaborative environment. The result, true design complementing each element while making a striking whole. MJ Miller & Company is located at 123 West Main Street in downtown Barrington. They're open Monday through Friday until 6, Saturday until 5, and every Thursday evening until 8. MJ Miller is always buying unused metal. Bring in your broken or unwanted gold, silver, platinum, or diamonds. Take the cash, better yet, put it towards the purchase of something new, like a sparkling new engagement ring. 847-381-7900 or mjmillerjewelers.com.
It's an event you don't want to miss. The Illinois Family Institute's Faith, Family, and Freedom Banquet with Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Friday night, October 27th at the Stonegate in Hoffman Estates.
You just keep pressing the attack because you're right. God knows that you're right, and our founding fathers know that you're right.
Colonel Alan West is a decorated combat veteran, former U.S. representative, Fox News contributor, and an outspoken advocate for families and freedom.
We need to empower the family. We need to make sure that our faith is in God, not in man, so that we can pursue our happiness.
Seating for the Illinois Family Institute Faith, Family, and Freedom Banquet with Lieutenant Colonel Alan West is limited, so call now, 708-781-9328, 708-781-9328, or click events at IllinoisFamily.org, IllinoisFamily.org.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll talk to our friend Brett Baer, anchor of Fox News' Special Report at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
Dodgers pound the Cubs to advance to the World Series. Ronner unveils an innovation center plan. And WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
Republicans get their way at the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Tonight we completed the first step toward replacing our broken tax code.
And President Trump's happy with Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, tweeting they'll be the biggest tax cuts in history. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the Senate's approval of the non-binding budget is a step towards working on President Trump's promised tax reform. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer blasted the $4 trillion plan, which cuts $1 trillion from Medicaid.
After 8 years of crowing about debts and deficits under a Democratic president, the Republican deficit hawks seem to have flown the coop.
When reconciled with the House budget plan, the measure would set up special procedures to pass follow-up tax legislation without the threat of a filibuster by Democrats. Dave.
Rachel, President Trump tweeted last night, Democratic Congresswoman Frederica Wilson is wacky, again calling her account of his call to the widow of a dead soldier a total lie. Wilson says all the attention she's getting is amazing.
I have to tell my kids that I'm a rock star now.
And she says John Kelly will say anything to keep his job, reacting to the White House chief of staff saying,
"It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation."
Kelly calls those calls sacred and talked about 20 minutes about fallen soldiers, emotionally discussing his own Marine son's death in Afghanistan. A pregnant 17-year-old girl in the U.S. illegally, living in a facility for unaccompanied immigrant kids in Texas, is waiting to find out if she can get an abortion. She's been told yes and then no, and today a D.C. appeals court considers her case.
The teen has been given a state court order there permitting her to have an abortion, but federal officials have refused to take her or allow her to be released to undergo the procedure. Yesterday, the appeals court stayed a judge's ruling that would have allowed the abortion to take place.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. Dodgers fans are celebrating. They're going to the World Series for the first time since 1988 after beating the Chicago Cubs 11-1 to win the National League pennant. Fox News, fair and balanced.
57 degrees. Skies are clear at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Jose Quintana knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw. Cubs fall 11-1 in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. Cubs second baseman Ben Zobrist stating the obvious, Dodgers were simply a better team.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers were just better all series long in every facet of the game. They played a phenomenal series, and we didn't. So, that's why we're going home.
Dodgers led the majors with 104 wins, and after knocking them off in the NLCS last year, the Cubs had to watch them celebrate this time. Plans for a new innovation hub in Chicago are boundless, but there are real questions this morning about whether the joint campus for the University of Illinois and other universities in town will ever materialize. Governor Rauner and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel launched that effort yesterday.
Massive project, multi-year development, but hundreds and hundreds of thousands of new high-paying jobs.
No one is saying, however, where the $1.2 billion in funding needed to pay for that hub in the South Loop will come from. An Aurora man going to federal prison for trying to fly to Syria to join a terror group. Abdallah Tunisi was sentenced yesterday to 15 years behind bars after pleading guilty to attempting to provide material support to al-Qaeda. The Illinois Supreme Court has ruled that a female teen charged with fatally shooting a 14-year-old girl in 2014 is not entitled by law to a jury trial in juvenile court. The now 18-year-old was 14 when Endia Martin was killed in Chicago in a shooting stemming from a Facebook feud about the boy. Under Illinois law, only juvenile defendants who have repeated or violent criminal histories are eligible for jury trials in those cases. Shooting suspect had no previous convictions. Oilers over the Blackhawks in OT last night, 2-1. Toronto and the Raptors beat the shorthanded Bulls in the NBA lid lifter for both teams, 117-101. College football, Iowa travels to Northwestern after a bye week. The Woelfel Fighting Illini travel to Minnesota to take on the Gophers. The NIU Huskies take on Bowling Green in the MAC on Saturday. The news service of Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. Buy select HP printers at Staples and have ink automatically show up in your mailbox before you need it. Print up to 15 pages per month, free, or upgrade to another plan. See staples.com/InstaInk for details. Staples, it's pro time. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity explains how Trump is getting business done.
He's not just sitting around doing nothing, and he's literally systematically
just striking down one Obama policy after another and chipping away at all the damage that Obama did. And if he can't get Congress, the House and Senate to get along, then all right, well, then he's going to do everything he can do on his own.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
.706 and a check of the morning commute. We do that for you in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, and here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. Traffic on the inbound Edens Expressway is heavy. Devon to Montrose, it's 25 minutes. Lake Cook to the Junction, outbound 24. Inbound Kennedy, 42 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 17 from Montrose, 15 in the Express. Outbound 18 minutes to Montrose and 43 to the airport. On Eisenhower, it is slow starting around St. Charles, 48 minutes. Thorndale to the post office downtown, 34 from Manheim. Outbound 41 minutes to Thorndale. Mount Stevenson, an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, 48 minutes from the Tri-State. Outbound 48 minutes to 3:55. On Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Tri-State northbound, stop and go, 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis, and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow, Army Trail to 290. The other tollways look good. Lakeshore Drive still okay. No delays to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte, AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
A mix of sun and some clouds for today with a high getting up to 77, then turning out to be a partly cloudy night tonight. Low of 59. Breezy with partial sunshine tomorrow. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour with a high of 77. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
53 at O'Hare, 58 along the lakefront. Your next news update at 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Congresswoman Frederica Wilson responding this morning on CNN to General Kelly's remarkable press conference yesterday, in which he was critical of her, not by name, but certainly by description, of how she chose to politicize the president's call to the widow of Staff Sergeant LaDavid Johnson. Frederica Wilson this morning on CNN saying...
Still pushing back and criticizing General Kelly.
That is not a good message to say to anyone who has lost a child at war. You don't sign up because you think you're going to die. You sign up to serve your country. And when he says he died surrounded by his friends, he was abandoned. That did not apply to him. He was abandoned for 2 days, for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Why?
And then she went on to say, this is what the president should have said.
And when you have a young mother who is 6 months pregnant with 2 small kids, you say, I am so sorry that you lost your husband. Maisha, Johnson, you call her by her name and you say your husband. You don't say your guy. They were married.
Oh, for goodness
And you
sakes.
say, I am so sorry.
Yeah, so this is what this has devolved into, and her criticism of General Kelly. We'll see how that works out for her. Look, she's making allegations that she understands and has conceded she has no basis to make. I want to know what happened in Niger. I want to know why he was separated from his comrades in arms. And then she turns around and says he was abandoned. Well, you just said you don't know. You want to know.
Right. Oh, yeah.
We have, in addition to the 4 Green Berets who were killed in action, you have 2 others that were injured. Maybe they have some material information. You have investigations that are ongoing, and General Kelly made reference to the questions that he wants answers to as well, and the hour-by-hour timeline that U.S. African Command is putting together and so forth. Some restraint while this information is being gathered. We talked to Mike Rogers, former House Intel chairman, yesterday, and he talks about, they're in remote locations. These are classified missions. It's not easy to, number one, recover the bodies in the first place, depending on the nature of the ambush, that ultimately cost them their lives and injured others, as well as all of the evidentiary support to understand exactly what happened, when it happened, and how it happened. And she's talking about being abandoned, and she's talking about General Kelly and why it is people sign up. We got a text from U.S. Marine. You know when you sign up that part of the blank check is laying down your life for your country.
Mm-hmm.
So Frederica Wilson wants to continue to fuel this discussion.
And that's after she said yesterday that she's a rock star now. I have to tell my grandkids, they'll think, yeah, I'm a rock star now because the White House cares about what I think.
Loving the attention.
Ugh.
For more on this discussion, we're pleased to be joined by our friend and anchor of Special Report on Fox News Channel, 5 p.m. Chicago time on Monday through Friday. Also the author of the book 3 Days in January about the Ike administration. He's Brett Baer. Brett, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Sure. Happy to be here.
What was your reaction just to the week that was on this topic, and then the remarkable, I found quite unexpected tour de force from General Kelly before the D.C. press corps yesterday?
Yeah, I think twice now General Kelly has gone to the White House press briefing room and kind of held court and been mesmerizing, but this more than anything else. I mean, you could hear a pin drop in that briefing room as he, from not only being a general who has buried some people who fought for him, but as being a general who lost his son in 2010, knows very well the whole process of condolences for paying the ultimate sacrifice. And what was, I think, really powerful was that his kind of litany of things that he thought were still sacred in America.
Yes.
And he was going down the list and saying, things have devolved in the country as far as what is sacred, but I thought this one thing was sacred, and that is this call, this condolence of a country expressing its gratitude to someone for paying the ultimate sacrifice. So I think the whole thing is sad. It is tremendously sad, and we lose focus of the 4 soldiers who have died serving our country when we are talking about how the president phrased his condolence call. Kelly tried to explain that he was the one who told the president to say like that because Dunford, his superior, who's now chairman of the Joint Chiefs, told him, listen, your son was doing exactly what he wanted to do. This is what he signed up to do. And he was with the people he wanted to be with. And in a way, that was the way to deliver the condolence message. Did President Trump say it exactly right? Who knows? We haven't heard from the widow, I suppose, but the fact that we're down into this granularity on something that sensitive is something that is just kind of heinous.
Yeah.
I've been watching CNN for the past 2 days, and all they're doing is traipsing all these Gold Star families in front of the camera saying, I didn't get a phone call from Trump, and what life would be like if I had received that phone call. And I know, they're trying to push their own narrative, but what have you been doing over there at Fox? Have you been interviewing Gold Star family members?
I mean, we've talked to Gold Star family members, and we are covering the news, and we're covering the developments. But frankly, we're not knocking on doors because these people have already been through so much.
Yep.
Why do you have to go down that road again? Now, I said the other day, and I stick by what I said, was that we wouldn't be in this news cycle had the president in the Rose Garden answered the question he was asked, which was, why has it taken so long for information on Niger? And he went down to how previous presidents have handled condolence calls. Well, that really wasn't the question, and we're not sure why he answered the way he did. But then he doubled down and said, asked about it on radio, said, well, you should ask General Kelly because President Obama didn't call him.
Yeah, right.
And so then it was like one-upsmanship, and that's how we got to this topic. So, of course, there are news organizations that are going to be like, well, this person didn't get called by President Trump or get a letter, and that's how we ended up here. But the fact that the Congresswoman did and said and continues to do and say what she says is tough to watch.
Well, there's no question. You're right about Trump, too. And he didn't do what General Kelly did yesterday, which is just provide context that explains himself. I didn't know the words to use, so I leaned on somebody who could help me. And so if you're going to invoke General Kelly, then invoke him in full context. And so I sought his advice and counsel, and that's what informed my call, and I did the best I could in trying to console that widow in a situation that, nobody is properly equipped to deal with. And that would have been the end of it.
That would have been the end of it. Or he could have said, we are in the middle of investigating, for the original answer. We're in the middle of investigating the situation in Niger. We honored the service and sacrifice of those who paid the ultimate price and their families as well. And he could have even, in his way, he could have even turned it, this is why we put our hand over our heart for the national anthem.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Why we respect the flag. This is why, blah, 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 period, the end. And then we move on. But you see, that's what happens is sometimes, you walk down this alley and it opens up a whole different news cycle.
Well, just going back to Representative Wilson and a phrase that you're fond of using too, Trump derangement syndrome on the left. Lawrence O'Donnell tweeting over at MSNBC there. Kelly is a better fit for Trump than media thought. He too invents lies to attack and insult women. I mean, here's the thing
this is not a gender issue.
No, but here's the point of this is Frederica Wilson, Larry O'Donnell, that particular strain of leftism, they bail out Trump almost every single time, and they don't even realize that they're much more help to Trump than detriment to Trump.
Oh, exactly. They go over their skis in their criticism, and it gets the better of them, and then the further they go, the more it backs up the president, who then says, look over here, and everybody goes, gosh, that's crazy. And then suddenly the president is backed up in his original, where he could have made it easy, he kind of stepped in it, and then now we've been through 4 days of a cycle that eventually comes back to him. And so we've seen the cycle numerous times. Unfortunately, this one deals with such a sensitive topic that it's really not that great to cover.
Do you think, though, that it would have received the attention that it did? I mean, the attacks happened, the 4 soldiers were killed in between hurricanes that we were dealing with here, people kneeling during during football games. Because of this phone call controversy, do you think now it's garnered more support and attention and that we want to find out what happened?
Yeah, I do think that the whole controversy has added to the spotlight. I think eventually we would have been pressing anyway. They came out with a brief answer right away that a lot of the media had forgotten. Sarah Huckabee Sanders made a statement at the podium. AFRICOM put out a statement. But the details of exactly what happened, the TikTok, we don't know. And I think, always we should know when U.S. service members die in the field.
Also, yesterday you had 2 former presidents out speaking, one on the campaign trail for Democrat candidates for governor in Jersey and Virginia, that being Barack Obama, talking about politics of division and sort of his usual patter. And then also George W. Bush at a George W. Bush Institute event where he talked about kind of our divisive political climate, bigotry has no place in America, and the like. And it was interesting, the W's comments were interpreted by several D.C. outlets like Politico as targeting Trump and Trumpism. I interpret those remarks to be much broader than that, particularly in the context of W saying previously he doesn't, when asked about criticizing Obama during Obama's presidency, I don't do that because I think it demeans the presidency. It's not helpful. And I assume that's still his posture. I thought his comments were much broader about some of the divisiveness and kind of dismal discourse across the political spectrum. How did you receive what W had to say?
Yeah, I think it was designed to be broader, but obviously the people who cover the White House and cover this president put the blueprint over some of the things the president has said and done. And but like Karl Rove said that the speech was designed to be a broader thing about our culture and about sensitivity to people's feelings, that suddenly, quickly it gets to a much more aggressive stance in social media and other places. But clearly it was taken in Washington as being, or at least referencing Trump while not naming him.
He is Bret Baier, anchor of Fox News' Special Report, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time on Fox, and the book, 3 Days in January, about President Dwight D. Eisenhower. Bret, thanks always for joining us. Have a good weekend.
All right, we'll see you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Forecast is going to be beautiful Friday, today. Dan, do you have your tea time ready? Although you look like you're going to go to a grand ball or something. Why are you all dressed up? You make me feel like I'm homeless. I look like I've given up on life.
I have a meeting with upper echelon types.
Oh, is there is that an ascot? What's in your pocket there? What is it?
To see you. It's cigars.
Oh, it's cigars? Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, smoke them if you got them. Plenty of sunshine, some clouds, a high of 77 degrees. Saturday looks just spectacular. Mostly sunny skies, breezy, very warm. Get this, a high near 80 degrees. And on Sunday, we get back to reality. Occasional rain on and off, cooler, a high of 67. Now let's get into our alarm detection systems. Traffic Center, here is Jim Delamonte.
Thanks, Amy. And Dan, Kennedy outbound, very heavy. There was a crash on westbound 190 at River Road. It's gone now, but it's an hour from downtown to O'Hare. Just 18 minutes to get to Montrose. Inbound 40 minutes from the airport to the Burns Circle. Eden's 25 minutes, Lake Cook to the Junction, outbound 24. About Eisenhower, 54 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound 48. Stevenson, an hour and 6 minutes, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43 minutes. Ryan, 23 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, Bishop Ford, both 25 minutes from I-80 to the Verge. Northbound Tri-State delays from 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis. Reagan, Tilway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Hi, Barry Sterner, founder of Townstone Financial. I want to answer some frequently asked home mortgage questions today. First, how much do I need for a down payment? There are 1% down payment programs currently running, as well as programs that will allow you to get the entire down payment as a gift. We also have programs where a family member can co-sign for the mortgage in order to help the borrower qualify. Do I need perfect credit to qualify for a loan? The answer is no. All these programs have restrictions, so please give me a call at 312-896-2110, and I'll be happy to go over them. Another question is, can I take cash out of my house to pay off high-interest credit card debt? The answer is yes, but you need to have enough equity in your house to make it happen. Why Townstone instead of the big banks? Because since 2002, we pride ourselves on beating the big banks on closing costs and interest rates every day. Remember, nobody values your home mortgage business more than Townstone. I guarantee it, and I own the company. So call 312-896-2110 or go to townstone.com.
Listen to the Townstone Financial Show Saturdays at 1 p.m. here on AM 560. Townstone Financial is an Indiana, Wisconsin, Illinois mortgage licensee 6629 and NMLS 136639.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I sing your praises all the time because I was very run down. I was getting bronchitis all the time. And ever since I started taking this, at the first sign of a sniffle, by the next day, it's gone.
Love it. Great product. Yeah, I should have taken it years ago. It works. You know, your skin is better, your blood pressure is down, and stuff like that.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND. That's promo code WIND.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. The storm season is here. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for sudden damage and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
If you have pain, I hope you listen up. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You don't need to live in pain. Let me repeat that. You do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, whether it's from an accident or pain that just develops. Chicagoland, you're in luck. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the nation's most respected and successful pain doctors. He's been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Bottom line, he's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido of Chicago Anesthesia and Pain Specialists will help you get off pain medication and all of the side effects. How? By finding the source of your chronic pain and fixing it.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. Let's make you pain-free.
Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain, and you could be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info you need at mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, so Ta-Nehisi Coates was in town this week, feted by, North Shore Champagne Socialists with more money than sense and other groups. Coates is this celebrated black left intellectual who turns out, based on a lot of what he writes and says, to be nothing more than another race hustler with a big vocabulary. He got the Genius Grant. He won a National Book Award in 2015 for his memoir, Between the World and Me. We've talked to Jason Hill, philosophy professor from DePaul, about Ta-Nehisi Coates, in part in response to what Coates has written about the American dream. Well, while he was in town, Coates said this about Chicago. They use Chicago, in quotes, to shame people. I'm from Baltimore, and I grew up in the height of the crack era. I'm not trying to make any light of the violence in Chicago at all you see on the west side or the south side, but this sense that Chicago is somehow alien or outside America is just absurd. It's ridiculous. Chicago has become code for black people, said Coates. Right. Yeah. No, Ta-Nehisi, Chicago is code for kleptocracy. That transcends race. Chicago is code for worst governed city, big city in America, Ta-Nehisi. And it's interesting because Coates goes on to talk about Baltimore, and he says, I love Baltimore, but I go back and they're still struggling with the same problems they were in 1985. His Fox Butterfield moment. Right. And who's been in charge of Baltimore since 85? Conservative Republicans, Mr. Coates?
No, yeah.
Just like Chicago for 100 years. But one has nothing to do with the other. There's no correlation, not to even argue causation. Is there, Mr. Coates?
And he said this because of Barack Obama. He said, so the constant national focus on Chicago's crime problem started under President Barack Obama as a way to diminish the first black chief executive.
The focus on Chicago violence is because Chicago has more murders annually for a few years running now than L.A. and New York combined, Mr. Coates. The facts matter, don't they? You just gloss over that with big words, don't you? And by the way, you're an intellectual coward because you won't take on the likes of Jason Hill at DePaul and have a real discussion, a real debate. You can only operate in silos, in vacuums, where you get, guilty white champagne socialists in Evanston to pay you a lot of money to spew your silliness.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
I still want to talk about those flying turkeys in Arkansas.
And now the FAA is involved. Oh, turkeys do fly, trust us. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
57 degrees. Skies are clear this morning. Senate Republicans have approved a new budget. 2018 budget resolution passed last night on a 51-49 vote. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul, the only Republican to vote against it. The vote does pave the way for President Trump's massive tax cut plan to begin making its way through Congress. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly defending Donald Trump against a congresswoman's accusations the president was insensitive to a grieving military family. Kelly began his own remarks by describing the handling of America's war debt and then recalled the death of his own son in Afghanistan.
He asked me about previous presidents, and I said I can tell you that President Obama, who was my commander-in-chief when I was on active duty, did not call my family. That was not a criticism. That was just to simply say, I don't believe President Obama called. That's not a negative thing.
He lamented what he said was lost respect for military service, and he personally absolved the president of any blame in the phone call. The iPhone 8 is dwindling in production. Apple this morning saying it's cutting down on the device after poor sales. The latest iPhone currently being outsold by last year's model, the iPhone 7. Jose Quintana knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw. Cubs fall 11-1 in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series. Thoroughly outplayed in the series. Ben Zobrist said it best, Dodgers were simply a better team.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers were just better all series long in every facet of the game. They played a phenomenal series, and we didn't. So, that's why we're going home.
Dodgers led the majors with 104 wins. We wait for the winner of the American League Championship Series. Astros are home now to take on the Yankees. You have to work hard to spin something positive out of Illinois' latest jobs report. The State Employment Agency yesterday saying Illinois lost almost 11,000 jobs in September. And it was another day the music died. Today, 40 years ago. Plane crash shook the music world. Lynyrd Skynyrd's lead singer, Ronnie Van Zant. Guitarist Steve Gaines' sister, who was a backup singer for the band, among 6 killed when their charter plane crashed in South Mississippi 40 years ago. Plane went down near Gillsburg, killing 3 band members, a road manager, and the pilots. 20 others on the plane were severely hurt. Chicago sports last night, Oilers over the Blackhawks in OT 2-1. The shorthanded Bulls fell to the Raptors in the NBA lid lifter for both clubs, 117-101. Bulls play the Spurs in their home opener tomorrow night. The news, a service of Farmers Insurance. As the road you travel changes, so does your insurance need. Talking with a farmer's agent can help you assess whether you're ready for the journey ahead. Find an agent at farmers.com. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next. on AM 560.
You can always count on Dennis Prager to go deeper into an issue.
It's so obvious to me that there are gradations of sin. A serial adulterer is not the same as a one-time adulterer. Otherwise, we're doomed. If everything is equal in the world of sin, then is everything equal in the world of good? So is everybody just morphed into some giant moral blob?
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Two strong banking teams have united to help you continue to grow your business with the same dedication and even more opportunities. And we have a new name. The private bank is now CIBC. The same team you know and trust now brings deeper resources, global banking reach, and the power to help your business seize new opportunities. Our name may have changed, but our commitment to your business is now stronger than ever. Visit us at cibc.com/US. Member FDIC.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies we have.
Sure. Right, Al.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Well, I have groupies.
A rich fantasy life is important.
This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
7:36. Let's get an update on that ride to work in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. For us, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Kennedy Expressway inbound, it's heavy Harlem to the Burn Circle. It's 43 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 25 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 22 to Montrose, 47 to the airport. The Edens, 21 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction. Outbound 26. Got Eisenhower an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. Outbound it's 50 minutes. Stevenson an hour and 6 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 43 minutes. Ryan 26 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State heavy. 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis. After the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial delays. Bout to the Reagan Tollway. Lake 290. Westbound 8094 slow. The Indiana Toll Road to Central and I-65 to Grant. Crash blocks the right lane. Traffic, service of Staples. Staples has great prices on everything you need to print. I select HP printers at Staples. Have ink automatically show up at your mailbox before you need it. Print up to 15 pages per month for free or upgrade to another plan. See staples.com/instaink for details. Staples, it's pro time. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Nice, pleasant day. Sunshine mixes with a few clouds, high 77. Partly cloudy and mild tonight, low 58. And a breezy and warm day tomorrow, high 77. Currently 53 O'Hare, 58 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Kelly Financial Services, helping you secure your financial future today. Visit kellyfinancialservicesinc.com.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So we were talking with our friend Brett Baer earlier in the hour about some of what President George W. Bush had to say yesterday about the political climate at an institute, a George W. Bush Institute event. And I want to fold that into a Campus Beat segment. Dateline, UC Santa Cruz, the Banana Slugs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a Banana Slugs t-shirt because my cousin went to school there.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh.
Still lives in the area.
Maybe,
it's a great campus.
Maybe she'll be featured in this video. Or is she still on campus? Or
no,
she's gone?
she graduated from UC Santa Cruz.
And now what's she doing?
She's a mom, which is the hardest job ever.
No question.
Guys.
No
you don't want to
question.
pull a hamstring putting that DVD in the machine.
Yeah, exactly. So here's Bush on the political climate. And now, again, this has been interpreted by many of the outlets that constitute the D.C. press corps as really zeroing in on Trump. But listen to what George W. Bush says, and then listen to what happened at UC Santa Cruz, and see if the point that the former president was making is a bit broader than the current president.
In recent decades, public confidence in our institutions has declined. Our governing class has often been paralyzed in the face of obvious and pressing needs. The American dream of upward mobility seems out of reach for some who feel left behind in a changing economy. Discontent deepened and sharpened partisan conflicts. Bigotry seems emboldened. Our politics seems more vulnerable to conspiracy theories and outright fabrication.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, okay, then he went on to say this. Listen, who do you think he's talking about?
We've seen our discourse degraded by casual cruelty. At times, it can seem like the forces pulling us apart are stronger than the forces binding us together. We've seen nationalism distorted into nativism.
Yeah, that's not the only iteration of it. And on college campuses, we have adults that have abdicated their responsibility as it pertains to young adults who, frankly, so many behave like infants. And so UC Santa Cruz, college Republicans having a meeting in the library.
You were a college Republican, right?
I was actually I wasn't a member of Sears. I was conservative council. College Republicans were too too soft for me.
Okay.
I ran conservative council, which was a speaker's
You
bureau.
ran conservative what?
Council.
Okay.
No, at Northwestern. Yeah.
Excuse me, I don't have your resume memorized yet,
well,
and I
I-
should if I have to work with you every day for 4
exactly.
hours.
I want to just distinguish.
What's wrong with me? I'm a hack.
I just
And she's like, "She's a hack."
Yeah.
Right?
You may phone it in on my time at Northwestern. I will not, miss. All right. So here's college Republicans. They're having a meeting because, they're a student organization.
Yeah.
Except there are students that are studying, and the presence of college Republicans creates an unsafe space in the library.
Oh my gosh.
I have not seen if there were hate graffiti on these walls, if there were some sort of documentation is something that I could point to and know for sure.
You just heard someone say that they agreed with white supremacy. So
Who said that?
If that's
young person over here, what's your name again?
Actually,
and I think I might have misspoken because the other thing that I'm definitely going to do is file a hate and intolerance report.
Great.
And that's something that I would encourage. I'm just going to describe the whole entire incident.
The idea that there is such a thing as an intolerance report on college campuses
What is that?
is a sign of the times. All right, so that's how it begins.
An intolerance report. Would then the intolerance police come out?
Yes, actually.
I think that that's unfair that you're looking at it that way. I think that what is going on right now is actually that these folks are preventing folks from their everyday lives, not just studying everything, safety on campus, whatever it is that they are engaging in. And so I feel like this group should be asked to leave, actually. And I feel like you're kind of looking at it from an interesting perspective, maybe in line with university policies. But I think if you understand what their ideologies are and how you feel safety really is, how you feel education, how you feel learning really is, students can't be studying when their lives are being discriminated against,
Okay.
pushed out of the way.
And I hear that argument.
Oh, yeah. Students can't be studying in the library, in other rooms or open spaces when their lives are being discriminated against because college Republicans are having a meeting. I just want to understand. This is literally what they're saying.
Yeah.
This is not in dispute. It went on. And then you actually had a guy confront the protesters, who was a Democrat. So, some hope for America. There's a few Howard Rourke's out there.
Listen, this club has been going on for months. There's been no disturbances until this is suddenly there's a disturbance. Suddenly,
but your existence is a disturbance.
My existence is a disturbance. You're right.
Yes.
My existence is a disturbance to you, but it's not a disturbance to anyone else. My existence is
a disturbance to every marginalized person in this country.
You have no idea what you are talking about.
Do you understand what a Republican is?
I'm not a Republican. You don't know the people you're talking to.
So
I'm just here, and I'm first of all, I'm a registered Democrat. I've never voted for Republican.
I don't
in my
give a
life.
shit.
I'm here speaking ideas. What you're supposed to do at a college.
I'm a registered Democrat. Your existence. Do you understand? I mean, this is where we're getting to. And that registered Democrat, that young man, Philip Leonard, talked to Fox News. I immediately stood up and confronted them. I was the only one to stand up and confront them. And he went on to say, he posted some of these videos online, actually. This is how the story got picked up nationally. And he goes on to say this in a Facebook post. As you will see on the video, and you just heard, one of the protesters told me that my existence is a disturbance. Mr. Leonard writing here. This is the exact rationale that the Nazis used to murder members of my family. Basically, a Jew's existence is such a disturbance to the lives of other people that any action of extermination is justified for the good of society. Many fascist groups frame their political enemies in this light before taking violent action against them. The protesters who interrupted our meeting made it clear that they see everybody in that room, regardless of their viewpoints or ideologies, as defective people who have no right to an opinion or to assemble, or I would add to exist. I think it's important for the students on campus to see what fascism actually looks like. From a young Jewish student who, as you heard, describes himself as a Democrat. The confrontation escalated. 3 of the individuals that were protesting and disrupting the meeting were arrested. And the school's director of media relations said it's unfortunate and disappointing that a few students disrupted their meeting and refused repeated requests to leave. UC Santa Cruz vigorously supports our students' rights to peacefully and lawfully assemble. Okay, so this individual, Mr. Leonard, responded courageously and appropriately. The school, I guess, sort of did, and the campus police erred on the right side of the disruptors in this instance. But I want to go to the mentality, because that's what's really important, because that's what's happening. That's the poison that's infecting college campuses, and not just college campuses, as we know. No right to existence. No right to existence. I mean, remember those words. Philip Leonard, that kid's existence is a disturbance. George and Moni, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, Dan, I think remember when we were kids, they used to have like a fire axe inside a cabinet with a glass door in case you needed it.
Yeah.
We need the same thing with somebody like a counselor. They can talk these guys down, man.
Break somebody out of the emergency glass? Yeah. Stuart Smalley out of the emergency glass? Thanks for the call, George.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up, Paul Ryan, comedian, huh? But first, here's your forecast. Just a gorgeous day. Here we go. It's another gift. Plenty of sunshine, some high clouds. A high of 77 degrees today. Tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy and mild, a low of 58. Then your weekend looks pretty good to begin with. We're going to have partly sunny skies tomorrow, breezy, very warm, a high near 80 degrees. And on Sunday, back to reality, not as warm. We have occasional rain, a high of 67. Let's get into our Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Amy. Northwest Indiana, we're seeing delays on westbound 8094, the toll road to Central Avenue. Then it's very heavy I-65 to Grant. There's a crash in the right lane. Eastbound slow, Indianapolis Boulevard to Klein. Eden's 20 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 26. Kennedy, 43 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 47. Eisenhower's an hour and 4 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 50 minutes. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes. 355 to the drive, outbound 45 minutes. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eastbound 390, a little slow. Roselle to 290. Jim Talamonte in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center.
Although it's warm outside, we forget that the holidays are right around the corner. Christmas, Hanukkah, and you're going to have a gift. You're going to need to get some gifts. So give the gift of a great night's sleep. And now we have the buy one, get one free offer is back. And I urge you to go online or call now and take advantage by using the promo code AMY, A-M-Y. You'll get the absolute best deal available. I personally love my pillow. I can't wait to sleep on it every night. And I get a great night's sleep because I can move the fill to give me the support I need. I throw it in the washer and dryer when it gets dirty or a little flat. It's hypoallergenic. There's a 10-year warranty, 60-day money-back guarantee. And it's great to know you're supporting a company that has helped thousands of hurricane victims all over the country. So get your buy one, get one free MyPillow is a gift for yourself, a gift for somebody else by calling 800-489-0201. Use the promo code Amy or visit MyPillow.com. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
My house looks tired. My kitchen counters are like the ones from that 70s show. And my bathroom is help. I'm ready for change.
As homes age, it makes sense to remodel. It's much more cost-effective than moving. Choosing the right contractor is as important as your kitchen, bath, or addition. I'm Robert Soto, owner of Midland Development Group. Over decades of experience working with homeowners like you, I've excelled at finding the perfect solution for your individual needs. From concept to design, all the way to completion of your project. I also share your values and know you demand the best quality, price, and dependability. I hope you'll give us a chance to prove to you that my word is my bond. We're Home Advisor affiliated and look forward to discussing your project.
Contact Robert Soto of Midland Development Group. Call 312-617-7335 or visit MidlandDevelopmentGroup.com. Midland Development Group, where price and quality meet. 312-617-7335 or at MidlandDevelopmentGroup.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
It's a wonderful product. I mean, it's an absolute wonderful product. I'm so grateful that I heard about it. Yeah. And at first I didn't take, I didn't take it faithfully. I'd forget. And then I'd say about a month and a half, 2 months ago, I really started taking it right. And what a difference. What a difference.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's 1-800-2468-751. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com.
Use promo code WIND.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity, sponsored by Upstream-Ideas.com. Victor Davis Hanson had the best one-line summary of Trump's presidential campaign, suggesting that the basic Trump message was, I know the elites in media, Hollywood, big business, and politics, and they're even worse than you think. Whether or not you think Trump also fits that description, the rest of the cultural mavens in question are certainly living down to it. Now comes Harvey Weinstein, the human stain that won't come clean because those who knew didn't for decades. But how could they? After all, Weinstein is just an extreme example of them, a difference in degree, not kind. The revolting Weinstein is the personification of the darkness that lurks inside the Hollywood beautiful people now climbing over each other to denounce the conduct about which they previously joked. But they're ever ready to trade sensitivity for sensuality. To look the other way only requires that they be rewarded for doing so. Thus, Brad Pitt can confront Weinstein about his treatment of Pitt's then-girlfriend, Gwyneth Paltrow, only to subsequently do 2 movies with Weinstein. To borrow from C.S. Lewis, they are Hollywood's men and women without chests. They may possess intellect, and they certainly have appetites, but they are devoid of truth or any belief in it. They are the incomplete humans that give rise to monsters like Weinstein.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, give me a call. A borrower called me after contacting the lender who boasts about having the lowest rates and closing costs because he thought my competitors' closing costs were excessively high. I compared loan estimates and the interest rates were identical, but our definitions of low closing costs were a lot different. Fact is, my closing costs were over $1,000 less than the lender claiming to have the lowest closing costs. When purchasing a home, you can either work with the lender, who talks and talks and talks and talks about low closing costs, or you can work with me, a lender who actually has low closing costs. Then think of all the things you could do with an extra $1,000 when we originate your loan, like pay for the movers, buy a new computer, new TV, maybe new carpet for your new house. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License 4358, and MLS 19186.
If you're missing teeth or even a single tooth, dental implants are a fantastic way to regain your confidence, your smile, your dental health. Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. You hear a lot of people screaming at you about dental implants. Get it done in a day, or we can treat everybody, or hundreds of thousands of implants. Look, successful implants don't come from an implant factory. What you don't hear talked about is skill, treatment, and installation. These are what make for successful lifelong implants, and that's why you need to see Dr. Norouzi at Fox River Periodontics. Dr. Norouzi is the recommended choice of dentists that don't do implants. You need the experience, skill, and honesty that 24 years of dental implants brings.
This is Dr. Norouzi.
I personally guarantee your happiness with your implants.
Call Fox River Periodontics, 630-232-7400, 630-232-7400, or just remember, implantsforme.com, implantsforme.com.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Kurt Penn, founder and CEO of Good Foods. In 2007, I was shopping in a natural foods grocery store and had a vision for a company that would produce fresh, all-natural foods with a social conscience. Signature Bank helped turn that vision into what now is Good Foods. Signature Bank President Mick O'Rourke listened to our story and learned about our business. Mick has been with us every step of the way. Signature Bank takes care of the details so we can focus on producing good foods. Signature Bank is deeply invested in our success. Good Foods is very proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, I'm going to be Dr. Johnny Fever.
Okay, what am I going to be?
Mike Scott will be Les Nessman, newsman. You'll be Jennifer Marlowe, of course.
Oh, yeah.
We're reprising the WKRP in Cincinnati bit about a turkey drop. The turkeys are hitting the ground like sacks of wet cement.
Oh, my.
Les Nessman. Well, that's what happened because we got this story about an annual turkey drop event in Arkansas that is now being investigated by the FAA, looking into whether the activity complied with regulations. And I had no idea, even as a pilot, that there were FAA regulations regarding flying turkeys. I took the Arthur Carlson position that as God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
It's a 70-year tradition in the town of Yellville, Arkansas. Oh, my God. I can't even look at this video. They're literally throwing live turkeys out of a plane.
Pull!
Shame on them. No, that's not. These turkeys are alive.
Not for long.
And they're flinging them from the slow-flying plane. And no one, yeah, they should get it. Where's PETA? And I don't like PETA, but this is sick.
You ask and you shall receive. Rose Hilliard, local animal rights activist, claimed in a formal complaint with local law enforcement that the birds are terror victims, terrorized by the pilot, and that state animal cruelty laws have been violated. Well, what if you gun them down and then you ship them over to Fayetteville for the Walmart folks?
No. That pilot
Some
should be
turkey
arrested.
Of sorts.
Dan, did you see the video? I mean, it's to talk about. Then you see the video. It's not funny, but I didn't think it was funny anyway. That pilot should be arrested. The person throwing the turkeys from the plane should be arrested. And the organizer should be thrown in jail.
The FAA has previously not intervened because the turkeys are not considered projectiles. No, it's terrible.
And then the people in the crowd, they get this turkey that just slammed against the ground.
Yeah.
All just contorted.
Everybody on
Here, happy Thanksgiving.
Everybody on
his face is gone, but he looks great.
Well, everybody on the ground has, a sandwich with some cheddar cheese and lettuce, and they're just waiting for
this is disgusting.
the lunch meat.
Mike Scott, you can't think that this is funny.
Where do you think turkey? Where do you think the turkey sandwich you eat comes from? Where do you think that
Minnesota,
comes from?
actually.
Oh,
that's where they grow most of the turkeys.
Turkey, yeah.
Well,
I lived in northern Minnesota.
Not the ones that fly. They're down in Arkansas,
Apparently
Mike.
not. Venus Flytrap had the best line in that.
What?
Now it gets strange. Best line.
This is where it gets strange.
This is where it gets strange.
Yeah.
Really? Now?
Do you think they're going to continue this tradition?
I like Art Carlson as the general manager at WKRP.
Yeah.
He's great.
He was.
Does he remind you of another general manager at all?
Oh, no. Really?
No.
Look, it's
I like to
flying.
keep
It
my
spells
job.
something.
Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving from WKRP.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
From flying turkeys, flying turkeys, to candidates for Congress who have interacted with aliens at 808.
They're coming. And shapeshifters. Local celebrity saw a shapeshifter. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Governor Rauner unveils plans for an innovation center in the South Loop, but the question is, who is going to pay for it? University of Chicago graduate students vote to unionize. Raptors beat the Bulls in the season opener, and a pleasant day ahead. Warm with sunshine mixing with clouds will top out near 77, and a partly cloudy and mild day ahead overnight. WIND Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
She says she's a rock star now. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
The White House is following me, and my word, this is amazing.
Democratic Congresswoman Frederica Wilson stands by her claim President Trump was disrespectful in a call to a dead soldier's widow she overheard. Wilson also says White House Chief of Staff John Kelly will say anything to keep his job. He called her an empty barrel, which Wilson calls a racist term.
You know, I feel sorry for General Kelly. He has my sympathy for the loss of his son, but he can't just go on TV and lie on me.
Wilson on CNN this morning claims Kelly lied yesterday, saying she boasted about securing funding for an FBI building in Miami. The president tweeted about Wilson late last night. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
The president tweeting, "The fake news is going crazy with wacky Congresswoman Wilson, who was secretly on a very personal call and gave a total lie on content. White House Chief of Staff General John Kelly, a Gold Star father, did not hold back in his criticism of Wilson for listening in on that condolence call and then criticizing the president's tone in the media.
I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing.
Kelly accused Wilson of being a publicity-seeking opportunist. Dave?
John's success for Republicans in the Senate.
We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to replace a failing tax code that holds Americans back.
Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, after a budget framework passed, setting up a process for tax reform that would let Republicans pass it with a simple majority. Democrats like Senator Bob Menendez say the tax cuts would mostly help the wealthy, and
the Senate just passed a budget that adds $1.5 trillion to our national debt.
Former President Obama doesn't like our current politics.
We've got folks who are deliberately trying to make folks angry.
Campaigning for Democrat Ralph Northam in the Virginia governor's race. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Sunshine, 57 degrees, south-southwest winds at 5. At 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Jose Quintana knocked out early. The offense shut down by Clayton Kershaw. Cubs fall 11-1. Game 5 of the National League Championship Series at Wrigley Field. Cubs skipper Joe Maddon says the Dodgers deserve to win.
I want to congratulate them on their victory. The better team won over the course of these 5 games. They played really well. They kind of outpitched us and everything else. So give them credit.
Cubs were no match for the Dodgers, the team that led the majors with 104 wins this year. Plans for a new innovation hub in Chicago are boundless, but there are real questions this morning about whether the joint campus for the University of Illinois and other Chicago research institutions will ever materialize. Governor Rauner and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel yesterday launched that effort. The governor saying it will make Chicago one of the places tops in the world for research and development.
Massive project, multi-year development, but hundreds and hundreds of thousands of new high-paying jobs.
No one is saying where the $1.2 billion that's needed to pay for the hub will come from. Authorities are expected to reveal more information later today about the Kenneka Jenkins death case. Attorneys in Chicago say police will release more photographs and documents to the public. Jenkins was found dead in a Rosemont hotel freezer last month. Graduate students at the University of Chicago are forming a union. Grad assistants at the Hyde Park University voted yesterday to unionize. Graduate Students United will be their collective bargaining representative. Oilers over the Blackhawks 2-1 last night. Shorthanded Bulls fell to the Raptors in their NBA debut, 117-101. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat. From the Fox Business Network and a service of Turnkey.pro, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, General Electric's summer quarter was weaker than forecast. Its earnings were lower than a year ago, though GE made more money than expected from its power, oil and gas, aviation, healthcare, and transportation businesses. Its renewable energy business was disappointing. One of the companies that sells insurance to insurers is estimating the cost of Hurricanes Harvey and Irma and Maria and the two recent earthquakes in Mexico. Swiss Re says the disasters will cost the insurance industry approximately $95 billion. The most reliable car brands measured by Consumer Reports are Toyota, Lexus, and Kia. Toyota tops the list for the fifth year in a row. Chrysler rose 10 places on the survey. The Dow was up 5 yesterday to a record. NASDAQ dropped 19. S&P gained a fraction. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:05, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder uses common sense to approach the gun debate.
The question one more time is, if we ban all these weapons, what about bad guys? Will bad guys still be able to get them? And the answer is yes, they will be. There isn't any additional law that would have done anything. And also, it was the Clinton White House that said that the assault weapons ban had no effect whatsoever on crime.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
All money managers may seem pretty much the same. But while some money managers may recommend high commission investment products, Fisher Investments avoids them. Some money managers may have hidden and layered fees. Fisher Investments never does. And while some money managers are happy to earn commissions from you, whether you do well or not, Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when you do better. In other words, we're structured to be on your side. Maybe that's why most of our clients come to us from other money managers. Talk with us and find out why so many experienced investors are switching to and staying with Fisher Investments. Fisher Investments, clearly better money management. Investments in securities involve the risk of loss. Visit us at FisherInvestments.com to find out what we can do for you.
8:06. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim.
Thanks, Mike. Inbound Kennedy at Addison. We got a crash blocking the left lane. Delays start around Austin. 53 minutes is the drive time. O'Hare to downtown. 35 minutes from Montrose. 30 in the Express. Outbound 45 minutes to O'Hare. Edens, 20 minutes. Lake Cook Junction. Outbound 22. The Eisenhower's an hour and 3 minutes. Thorndale to downtown. 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 37 to Manheim. 53 to Thorndale. Mount Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 45 minutes. Ryan, 28 minutes. 95th to the Loop. I-57, 18 minutes. I-80 to the Merge. Bishop Ford at 18 minutes as well. On Lakeshore Drive, southbound at Slow Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound 18th Drive to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays. 75th to the Hinsdale Oasis and Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Adams and Reagan Tollways are fine. Veterans Memorial slows 75th to the Reagan Tollway and Lake to 290. 8094 westbound jam from the Indiana Toll Road to Grant after an earlier crash. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast with our meteorologist, Kevin Snyder.
Today, warm with sunshine, mixing with some clouds, high 77. Tonight, partly cloudy and mild, low 59. Partly sunny, breezy, and very warm tomorrow, high 77 and a low 63. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
53 at O'Hare, 57 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by M.J. Miller & Company. The perfect engagement ring awaits at M.J. Miller Jewelers in downtown Barrington.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Question, is Trump following Sarah Palin's trajectory? This is the subject of the Peggy Noonan piece in the Wall Street Journal. There is no hard constituency in America for political incompetence. She looks at Trump's numbers of late, 36% approval. Gallup, Rasmussen has him at 41. Stuart Rothenberg, another pollster, notes that at this point in his presidency, Barack Obama had the approval of 48% of independents, Trump's 33%. Writes Noonan, he proceeds each day with the confidence of one who thinks his foundation firm when it's not. It's shaky. His job is to build support, win people over through persuasion, and score some legislative victories that will encourage a public sense that he is competent, even talented. The story of this presidency so far is his inability to do this. He thwarts himself daily with dramas. In the thwarting, he does something unusual. He gives his own supporters no cover. They back him at some personal cost in workplace conversations, at family gatherings. They're in a hard position. He leaves them exposed by indulging whatever desire seizes him to lash out, to insult, to say bizarre things. If he acted in a peaceful and constructive way, he would give his people cover. In this way, Trump supporters are like Sarah Palin's supporters, who saw her lack of intellectual polish as proof of his sincerity. At her height in 2008, she had almost the entire Republican Party behind her and was pushed forward most forcefully by those who went on to lead Never Trump. But in time, she lost her place through antic statements, intellectual thinness, and general strangeness. Is that a fair concern that Peggy Noonan raises and throw into the mix this week on the Gold Star family flap and the call, not so much the call to Sergeant LaDavid Johnson's widow, but Trump's public comments about the call, about what other presidents did or didn't do that he had no basis in knowledge other than making an oblique reference to something that General Kelly told him, without explaining what he was trying to do with the call, without focusing on the investigation into what happened that led to the deaths of those 4 Green Berets in Niger, as well as 2 others that were injured, and where the status of this, giving an update on the status of that investigation. Now, he's getting bailed out because, of course, the left overreaches, and you've got this cartoon character, congresswoman from Florida named Frederica Wilson, who is, tripling down on going after President Trump and even now going after General Kelly.
Yeah, she doesn't like what he said, even though now she knows why he said what he said, and he's been there.
That is not a good message to say to anyone who has lost a child at war. You don't sign up because you think you're going to die. You sign up to serve your country. And when he says he died surrounded by his friends, he was abandoned. That did not apply to him. He was abandoned for 2 days, for 48 hours.
Yeah.
Why? Why didn't they pick him up and put him on their shoulders like they did the other fallen comrades?
Yes, I understand.
General Kelly, and take him to safety. He could have still been alive. So when you say he died surrounded by his friends,
General Kelly, just to be clear, General Kelly there is talking about his own son. He's talking about the casualty officer that told him that.
We're talking about a specific soldier, and every soldier is different, and every family is different.
It's just pablum. It's idiocy. She is an embarrassment. There is no defense. And the great irony, of course, is she's providing a great benefit and great service to President Trump, because when she says things, the veracity of which she has no idea, and she even conceded the point that she has no idea in the first place, saying, asking questions, what happened there? Why was he separated from the other men, and so on and so forth. She has no idea. But then she's going to suppose what happened and what should have happened.
And to make it sick, first of all, the way she's dressed, I think, is disrespectful. I'm sorry. If you're a lawmaker, take off that cowboy hat and the fake eyelashes, fake nails, and the flowers. The
10-gallon hat's too much.
Yeah, it's a little too much. I don't know how that plays in Miami, Florida. But she's enjoying her moment in the sun.
Right.
Do you think she really cares about Sergeant Johnson, or does she just care that she's a rock star now?
You mean to tell me that I have become so important?
It's so funny. It's so funny.
And the White House is following me and my word. This is amazing. It's amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal. I have to tell my kids that I'm a rock star now.
Yeah, I'm not going to go to. She's family friends with the Johnsons.
and have some respect for that family.
Yeah, and well, yes, I agree, but so I'm not. I'll concede the point that she cares about the Johnsons, and she's upset, of course, about the death of Sergeant LaDavid Johnson, as everyone is. But I mean, yeah, that's what you get. I'm enjoying my time in the spotlight.
Oh, rock star.
And then I'm going to.
This is so fun for you, huh? Really?
And I'm going to make insinuations about what other Green Berets who were ambushed by ISIS fighters, according to what we know so far. I'm going to make assumptions about what other soldiers, his brothers in arms, did or didn't do in that context. Reckless. Disgusting, really. And so you can understand why General Kelly, in what I was just a breathtaking, literally breathtaking press conference yesterday, where he went into such detail about his own son's death, about the process, about casualty officers that interact with the family, with Gold Star families, with families who lose a loved one in service to this country. And you can understand why he said what he said about the Congresswoman and her reaction and the statement she's making, but also something he disclosed would have been helpful for President Trump to disclose earlier in the week.
So he called 4 people the other day and expressed his condolences in the best way that he could. And he said to me, "What do I say?" I said to him, "Sir, there's nothing you can do to lighten the burden on these families. But let me tell you what I tell them. And let me tell you what my best friend, Joe Dunford, told me, because he was my casualty officer. He said, Kel, he was doing exactly what he wanted to do when he was killed. He knew what he was getting into by joining that 1%. He knew what the possibilities were, because we're at war. And when he died, in the 4 cases we're talking about, Niger, my son's case in Afghanistan, when he died, he was surrounded by the best men on this earth, his friends. That's what the president tried to say to 4 families the other day. I was stunned when I came to work yesterday morning and brokenhearted at what I saw a member of Congress doing. A member of Congress who listened in on a phone call from the President of the United States to a young wife, and in his way tried to express that opinion. He's a brave man, a fallen hero. He knew what he was getting himself into because he enlisted. There's no reason to enlist. He enlisted. And he was where he wanted to be, exactly where he wanted to be, with exactly the people he wanted to be with when his life was taken. That was the message. That was the message that was transmitted.
And so that's what Congresswoman Frederica Wilson was responding to in the clips that we played. So I suppose you have to make a judgment call on whose assessment
who are you going to believe? Whose side are you on?
Oh my gosh, it's not a close call,
yeah,
but it doesn't mean that this whole episode is going to turn out to benefit President Trump, and that's sort of what Noonan is getting to. That's sort of what she's getting to.
I love can you play the soundbite when he talked about the sacredness of what happened and that should be held sacred, the phone call.
Well, yeah,
and a whole list. I mean, I don't know if you want to go through it, but I can't hear that enough.
Well, this was a powerful statement that he offered about just kind of a review of changing culture during General Kelly's lifetime.
It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought at least that was sacred. You know, when I was a kid growing up, a lot of things were sacred in our country. Women were sacred and looked upon with great honor. That's obviously not the case anymore, as we see from recent cases. Life, the dignity of life, was sacred. That's gone. Religion, that seems to be gone as well. Gold Star families, I think that left in the convention over the summer. But I just thought the selfless devotion that brings a man or woman to die on the battlefield, I just thought that that might be sacred. And when I listened to this woman and what she was saying and what she was doing on TV, the only thing I could do to collect my thoughts was to go and walk among the finest men and women on this earth. And you can always find them because they're in Arlington National Cemetery. Went over there for an hour and a half, walked among the stones, some of whom I put there because they were doing what I told them to do when they were killed.
I mean, I'm going to cry again.
Yeah,
and I'm trying to just separate myself from this so I don't cry. But, I mean, he is such a wonderful man. And what is not to love and respect about him? I want him to be the next president of the United States.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but I mean, about things that are sacred, that's the important thing. Yeah. That's the important statement for consideration, what you hold sacred in your life and what this country should hold sacred as a culture. Kurt in Park Ridge on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello. You know, when you look at that article and she talks about the president's numbers, you have to take into account he's been getting blistered by the media since he's been in office. Obama had a love fest, and the fact that their numbers aren't that apart at the start is amazing. When you look at what he's done with the economy, just on getting rid of regulations, how well he's handled these natural disasters. I mean, every time something good is said about him, they have to pile on. I mean, look at George W. Bush. I used to like him. I'm still seething at him making that comment that he made yesterday in that speech. After 8 years of Obama, he didn't say a word, and now he comes out and says something like that. In my book, he's a piece of crap now, and I used to love him.
Well, thanks for the call,
Well, were
Kurt.
they rebuking Trump or were they rebuking Steve Bannon? Because upon further review, I thought, you know what, that sounds more like Bannon.
Actually, the Bush comments, as we've talked about earlier, and we talked about with Brett Baer, broader than Trump and Bannon. Much broader than that. And they're not called out by names. I think that's a misread. In terms of Trump and being attacked by the D.C. press corps in a way that perhaps no president ever has been, yes, true. And so what are you going to do about it?
Well, doesn't he bring it upon himself? I mean, yesterday was such a beautiful moment with General Kelly. I thought that this issue would die down. And then, of course, he tweets about Wilson, about the Congresswoman. I would have just left it alone.
I don't care about tweeting about Wilson. The point is how he tackled this issue out of the gate. Mm-hmm. And is it so much to ask for his own benefit, Trump supporters? Do you want him to succeed, or do you just want to rationalize failure? The failure on the issue, not on some of the substance, like Kurt mentioned, because he's correct about that, but the failure to do what it is his responsibility to do, persuade and build popular support for the purposes of political capital to advance an agenda. And he could be more effective at doing that. Could be much more effective at doing that. And is it so much to ask to say, to restrain yourself from competition with previous presidents as it pertains to making calls to Gold Star families? I mean, good grief. Number one. And number two, if you're going to make some kind of offhanded reference to try and provide context to the decisions you made, then explain it so there's clarity. All you had to do is something approximating with what General Kelly did yesterday. Is that so difficult? I don't think so. That it's a minimum requirement. I sought advice and counsel from my chief of staff, who, as you all know, is a Gold Star family, because I didn't have the words, and I've never experienced that. And so I leaned on somebody who did, and I did the best I could in trying to communicate my feelings and some of General Kelly's words to Sergeant Johnson's widow. Period. Full stop. End of story. No story. No story. Grant in Rockford.
Good morning, you two. Not to make light of it, but Amy, real quick, turkeys can fly, just not very long. They roost in the trees. But anyway.
Next year, by the way, in Arkansas, they're going to do tandem jumps.
Love it. Love it. They can do some turducken, throw them all together, and they'll land in the pile.
There you go.
But the Trump is Trump. He's brash. He acts without thinking. I don't like it any more than you do. But his methods expose the lunacy of the left
That's
and
true.
the insanity of the right. When you see John Kelly and he moves you that way, that's what Trump shows what's good about the right. When you see this disgusting, despicable, squealing pig in Florida disparaging this woman and rolling around in it, it makes my blood boil. It's despicable. And thanks, guys. Have a good day.
Thanks, Grant. I mean,
she turned it into herself.
Well, and I agree with Grant that he unhinges the already unhinged left, and so he exposes them as unbelievably ugly and venal and repugnant. But it's not necessarily inuring to his benefit. It's just inuring to their detriment. Those are different things. Bill and McHenry.
Morning, everybody. Amy, I agree with you to some degree about General Kelly, but what he was speaking of is Section 60 at Arlington National Cemetery, and I would invite every American citizen to visit that location to realize what's important in this country. And I didn't, you know what? I didn't even see the president's tweet this morning. I don't even know what he said. It really doesn't matter. The mere fact is that we've lost the civility that General Kelly is he's putting out a plea for that once again.
Yeah, nothing is sacred, right?
In the long run, I think America is going to be better for this debate because it's, along with the NFL and all the other nonsense that's going on, it's going to be a cleansing of the airways. It's going to drag people back to civility, I think.
Yeah, that's possible. That's an interesting perspective. Thanks for that, Bill. Yeah, I hope you're right. I think that's possible. Steve on the south side.
Hey, good morning, Dan. What planet do you live on? No matter
Earth.
what our president does, the media is going to make an issue out of it.
Yeah, I know. I know. So what? So what are you going to do about it? Don't just cry about the media, which is built into the price. The media being in the tank, pushing anti-Trump narratives is built into the price. So what are you going to do about it? Feed the beast and make it easier for them, or make it more difficult for them and use all of the communication channels you have in the digital age to present an image that runs counter to the media narrative, to actually build political capital? There's no excuse for incompetence. That's the point.
Right. I guess my point is, Dan, is that he tried, he made an effort because he cares. And I think people realize that he made an effort. And I think it only hurts Democrats because anybody who jumps on this, because I think it was a good faith effort to try and console grieving parents. That's all.
All right. Thanks for the call, Steve. I appreciate that. I mean, I agree. I think it's a good faith effort to console the parents. I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, of course you take that as the default position, the benefit of the doubt for any president. He's making a call to the widow of a soldier. Of course the president is trying to console. Of course the president is trying to be there and show respect. And that includes President Trump. For people to suggest otherwise is absurd. But it's not the call, it's how he handled it publicly. I did this and President Obama didn't. And then you open up this whole Pandora's box unnecessarily. It's unhelpful. Andrew in Burns Harbor.
Yeah, hi. We elected Trump because he's a street fighter. He's going to get into these fights, and this is what propelled him, because he actually takes the fight to these people rather than just sort of, bends the knee and oh well, I'm so sorry. This is what people have been sick of, and this is what got him elected. And these fights aren't always going to be good, but it's just something that comes with the territory. And the thing is, he's got to fight the Republicans in Congress too. I mean, they don't want to get his job done. I mean, this is what the midterm is all about.
Thanks for the call, Andrew. Dan in Itasca.
I agree with what you're saying on this. But I read that article by Peggy Noonan last night, and this is the first time I've read an article from her in over a year. And I like to read the comment section because the Wall Street Journal subscribers, they are probably the most intelligent commentators on these comment boards of any place I've read.
Yeah.
And
I am one, so I agree with you.
All right. And they were almost, it was, aside from a few kooky leftists who comment on there, who are not bright, they were almost 100% excoriating Peggy Noonan because they are basically saying she has just lost it. She has just gone down the never Trump path. And they're saying, you know, some of them were saying, you know, I'm thinking about dropping my subscription to the Wall Street Journal because, you know, I haven't been reading the Wall Street Journal for a long time. I used to love it. But apparently they're just on this never Trumper thing.
Yeah, thanks for the call.
I agree.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Dan. Appreciate it, and the comment on the commenters. But the Wall Street Journal is not never Trump. They're not. And neither really has Peggy Noonan been. So you can disagree with the Palin comparison or the concern about the Palin trajectory, but that's not really, you can't just dismiss it as saying never Trump. That's not where they're coming from.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We'll continue this discussion, take more of your calls, so hang on or call in 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line.
But now let's go into the newsroom. Dial into what's going on here at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Dan, Florida Congresswoman is keeping up her criticism of President Trump's call to a young Army widow. Earlier this week, Democratic Representative Frederica Wilson was on CNN this morning saying that what the president told Sergeant LaDavid Johnson's widow was not a good message in her eyes. White House Chief of Staff John Kelly says he was shocked to learn that Wilson listened in on that conversation.
It stuns me that a member of Congress would have listened in on that conversation. Absolutely stuns me. And I thought at least that was sacred.
Kelly saying the president tried to express that service members understand the risks of serving whenever and wherever they serve. The 2018 budget is passing the Senate, paving the way for the president's tax cut package. Moving the budget forward allows senators to pass tax reform legislation with 50 votes. Fire officials say the deadly California fire should be contained by early next week. The fires that broke out the night of October 8 have burned 250,000 acres in the wine country of Napa and Sonoma counties. Cubs fell in Game 5 of the National League Championship Series to the Dodgers 11-1. Cubs were no match for the Dodgers, a team that led the majors with 104 wins. Cubs knocked them out of the NLCS last year. Plans for a new innovation hub in Chicago are boundless, but there are real questions this morning about whether the joint campus will ever materialize, because no one is saying where the $1.2 billion the governor and the mayor say they need to pay for that hub will come from. Chicago sports. Oilers over the Blackhawks last night in overtime, 2-1. While in his Toronto debut, C.J. Miles had 22. The Raptors beat the shorthanded Bulls 117-101. Bulls play the Spurs in the home opener tomorrow night. Game 6 of the ALCS is tonight for the Yankees and Astros in Houston. And the Panthers could be without a key player when they visit the Bears Sunday, including three-time All-Pro middle linebacker Luke Kuechly, who missed his third straight day of practice with a concussion. The news, a service of Staples. Staples has solutions to keep your business safe and protected. Keep your tech and data safe, backed up, and protected from viruses. Now at Staples, get up to 2 pounds of shredding free, powered by Iron Mountain. Ends 10/28, in store only. See an associate for details. Staples, it's pro time. 8:33. Check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. According to creditcard.com, cardholders in Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and Michigan are carrying over $33,000 of debt on their credit cards. The Federal Reserve recently increased the interest rates 1/4 point, which, according to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, will increase the average credit card holder's interest payments $825 a year. The good news is home values have rebounded, so now is an excellent time to use your home's equity to eliminate your stress, pay off credit card debt, and lower your monthly payments. To see if you can use your home's equity to pay off your debt, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee 4358 and MLS 19186.
Napa know-how.
It takes a lot to get excited about a bag, but most bags can't save you 20% on auto parts. That's 20% off headlamps, 20% off oil filters, 20% off virtually anything you can fit inside the 99-cent Napa reusable bag. So tell your buddies, there's a bag they just have to check out. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores while supplies last. Minimum 3 items. Exclusions apply. Offer ends 10/31/17.
As a small business owner, you make every dollar count. So what could you do with $10? Go to Vistaprint.com today and you'll get 500 high-quality custom business cards for only $9.99. That's less than 2 cents per card. And at Vistaprint, your satisfaction is absolutely guaranteed. So it's never been easier to turn 500 strangers into connections. Just visit Vistaprint.com and use promo code 7070 at checkout. That's Vistaprint.com, promo code 7070.
Ever wonder how marketing got so complicated? When you're a large company with a national presence, you expect things like the execution of marketing materials, displays, and branded merchandise to just work. But marketing departments are buried in figuring out how to get displays to stores while fielding calls from frustrated customers and salespeople, instead of focusing on the next big idea to stay ahead of the curve. It's tough to grow a business that way. Madden has a different method. They take on the day-to-day project management, procurement, logistics, and customer service, letting your team focus on innovation. Madden is the expert in promotional marketing and merchandising. They take the most complex campaigns and make them simple to execute and manage. And it can save you up to 35% in total process improvement for your marketing and supply chain. Get in touch with Madden today and make your complex promotions and marketing campaigns simple. It's time to get focused. All the info you need to get started is at Madden.com. Madden.com.
It is 8:36. Let's get an update on the morning commute in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. The Edens inbound is a little heavy at Elston. 20 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose. Outbound now fine at 19. Inbound Kennedy, slow Austin to the Burns Circle. 53 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 35 from Montrose. 30 in the Express. Outbound 45 minutes to the airport. The Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 53 to Thorndale. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42 minutes. Ryan is 27 minutes. 95th to downtown. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, stop and go Bryn Mawr to North Avenue. Northbound 18th Drive to Jackson. Northbound Tri-State delays. Plainfield Road to the Hinsdale Oasis. And from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue Curve. Adams to Reagan Tollways are 5. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Southbound 53, stop and go Rand Kirchhoff. Make that Palatine Road to Kirchhoff. And 8094 has westbound delays. I-65 to Broadway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Nice day ahead. Sunshine and clouds, high 77. Partly cloudy and mild, low 58. Overnight, currently 54. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Health Quest Radio with Dr. David Kolbaba. Health Quest Radio is heard Saturday mornings at 11 o'clock here on AM 560, The Answer.
Hey, before you read about it on Facebook or Twitter, or hear about it from your friends, find out what today's big stories really mean with me, Sean Hannity, today at 2, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Well, later, can we play the WKRP turkey?
Yeah, I'll play it at 9:07.
You're so rude. Oh, no. So,
yeah,
that's such a Richard
We're gonna
move.
preempt Gallagher.
Yeah, why don't we play it at
That's why they call me
58.
That's why they call me Richard Cranium.
Oh,
around the water cooler.
Hey, somebody has your Twitter, by the way. Did you see that?
What?
Someone has a fake. They're Dan Prof it, and they put an I'm between, and they show where you live. And
it's clever. Yeah.
Do you know this person?
No, but
this guy. Look.
Yeah.
Have you seen this? He already has 72 followers.
Oh boy.
The fake Dan Proft. You're going to have to change your Twitter handle to real Dan Proft.
Ridicule is the sincerest form of flattery. So talking about General Kelly and what he had to say yesterday and the controversy that was sparked by the president and exacerbated by Congresswoman Frederica Wilson from Florida. Well, here's one of the theories of Trump supporters. So I gave the Peggy Noonan theory. I'll give the other theory. I'll give the theory on the other side. And it's well stated by a text from 815. Donald J. Trump is incompetent like a fox. He intentionally speaks absent of specificity. He leaves statements open to interpretation, making the ensuing debate personal. So, thinking about everything that has transpired this week, culminating with that remarkable press conference by General Kelly yesterday, you think this was all Donald Trump brain stroke? You think he lacks specificity to draw the press in, to suffer the attacks, only then to set up General Kelly to come in, like a spaghetti western, to ride into town at the end of the week and prove that all of the criticism directed to Trump was unwarranted and unfair, and thus Donald Trump comes out of this smelling like a rose and enjoying newfound popular support thanks to how he played the press and manipulated the situation when Frederica Wilson took the bait and the D.C. press corps took the bait. Is that how you think? Is that what you think happened? You think at the end of this?
Okay, Alex Jones.
Well, at the end of this, do you think that how Trump handled this is a benefit to him as president of the United States? That's the question.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick comment. What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think I've already made my view clear that no, I don't think that this was planned. I don't think it was helpful to him. I think that General Kelly provided cover to him. Not that's what General Kelly intended to do, but I think General Kelly did what the president should have done at the outset, provide the contextual information. It would have ended it. It would have ended it. And if Frederica Wilson then wanted to be unhinged anyway, and you want to talk about concocting conspiracy theories and launching into fact-free diatribes, Frederica Wilson's cornered the market on that this week. So if she wanted to do that after President Trump had just simply stated what he did and what he was trying to do, then there would be no muddle here. It would be Frederica Wilson and the unhinged left embarrassing themselves and denigrating the memory of dead Green Berets, and President Trump, along with General Kelly, looking like the steady hands, the adults in the room, the thoughtful leaders that the American people want them to be. But I think because of the way Trump handled it at the outset, he doesn't necessarily come out unequivocally enjoying that that view among the majority of Americans. I just don't think he does. And I think the numbers bear that out. And so that should be a problem. That be something that prompts thought about how you do these things. General Kelly can only cover you for you so often. You've got to do some of the heavy lifting too. And it's frankly, in this instance, the lifting wasn't that heavy. James in Westmont.
Morning, you two. I agree with that guy to a point, but I also agree with the fact that he needs to do some of the heavy lifting himself. I like Trump, and I like a lot of the things he does, but when he oversteps the boundary, but it always seems to come around to like you said before, it brings out the worst in the left.
Yes.
And for some reason, he still kind of walks away from it. I wouldn't say unscathed, but just coming out a little bit better because we see how wacky the other side could be.
Well, thanks for the call, James. I agree with that, but here's the net. Is he vindicated on the substance of this matter? Yes. Is Frederica Wilson digging the hole deeper for herself and for the left? Yes. Is President Trump seeing a bump in political support as a result of this? No. That's the question that not enough Trump supporters want to deal with. And it's an important question because it's one of the necessities of the presidency. As Peggy, whether you agree with the Palin trajectory comparison or not, one of the necessities of the presidency is to build constituencies to advance policy, to have the leverage on Congress and on your opponents to move your agenda. So if he's doing things that are not helping in advance of that mission, then it should be recognized and should be encouraged to do things a bit differently, don't you think? Paul in Mount Prospect.
Morning, Dan. Morning, Amy. I was saying that the Democrats ought to be used to statements from Trump because our first Mayor Daley in Chicago used to say things about the press. Well, they printed what I said, not what I meant.
Yeah, right. and shoot to
That's
Maine
right.
while we're at it, right, Paul? Thanks for the call. Yeah.
Thanks for the memory.
Well, it's actually a good
Printed
point.
What I said, not what I meant.
Yeah, that is actually a good point. But there's real truth to that. This goes to the, don't take Trump literally, take him seriously, right? The Selena Zito formulation. No, there's something to that, but it doesn't mean that you get to just forever get away with that without consequence. The point is you should improve on that score so that you have fewer people left confused or left susceptible to the narrative of the left. Mike in Lake Forest.
To me, the problem is the voters. Look at this goofball congresswoman. It's the people that vote for her. Jefferson said a democracy depends on informed voters. Look what we have.
Okay, thanks for the call, Mike.
the voters.
It's we get the representation we deserve kind of argument. Okay, Ed in LaGrange.
Actually, that quote is from Daley's press secretary, Colonel Jack Riley. If you remember that name from years ago.
Oh, okay.
What
Yeah.
he means. But I don't think you'd ever say that Trump is crazy like a fox. I think he speaks before he thinks about it. However, I think this congresswoman is making a fool of herself. She's enjoying her 15 minutes of fame way too much, and she's taking advantage of this family's heartbreak. But I have one quick question. Wasn't the call from the president on a speakerphone in the car? That's what I heard originally.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything.
No, that's it.
That's how it was reported. Yeah, that's how it was reported.
Yeah, both sides said that too.
Yeah.
She listened.
Yeah, thanks for the call, Ed. Verlin on the south side.
I think you all are getting a kick out of making my blood boil for the last couple of days.
That's what we're doing.
I'm begging you, please stop playing that recording from Lady Top Hat. Her voice is like nails on a chalkboard, okay? Now, listen, she's an idiot. She's a race baiter. She works for the grievance industry. I don't care about that woman. Forget her.
Okay.
Listen, and the comparison between Trump and Sarah Palin didn't have a grasp of common history, and she talked like she was reading out of a nursery rhyme book. America, that's what wasn't where America was at the time. Trump says off-the-cuff comments. Who are the Democrats to criticize? They want Joe Biden to run for president, and who says more off-the-cuff comments than Joe Biden? Listen.
Yeah.
Listen. You know what? But I'm gonna say something. George Bush and John said almost exactly the same speech. You know, and I know, Dan, they're gonna put words in Donald Trump's mouth. What is this blood and soil crap? That's Nazi words. Nationalism and America first never use the words blood and soil, but they direct that at Donald Trump. So they're going to lie on the man, they're going to put words in his mouth, and they're going to take the words that he do say, and they're going to spin it around like we in the spin zone and turn it against him and our supporters.
But Verlin, let me ask you this question, Verlin. So, okay, so we can go after W, we can go after Biden, we can go after the media, but do you think Trump, because he gets to play here, he gets to make decisions. In fact, he's the first mover when it comes to decisions. Is Trump helping himself? Is Trump helping himself? Okay.
No, he's not helping himself. But see, a person like me, past what he says, all I care about is what he does.
I understand.
And why everybody was criticizing him about making the deal when it came to health care, when he was going to let the two senators work it out, what'd he do? He pulled the trigger anyway, and he's still going to do what he said he was going to do in the first place. He was letting them do their job, and they still couldn't do their job right. He killed the regulations. He's getting his moving forward. He's not getting credit for what he does. Everybody thinks about what he says. Sticks and stones will break your bones, but names will never hurt you. I don't give a damn about what he says.
Thanks for the call, Verlin. Now who's talking like in nursery rhymes?
Yeah.
Like Sarah Palin. Okay. No, I mean, I understand Verlin's point, and I understand what somebody does versus what somebody says, but as a great man once said, words are the currency of politics.
Was that great man DP?
It was me. Thank you for recognizing that. No, I think it was Dr. Jack
No,
Riley.
yeah.
Sean in Elmwood Park, you're in Chicago's Morning
Hey,
Answer.
Sean.
Hello. Listen, as you hear Kelly speak of this rodeo clown, what he has and what he delivers and what's mesmerizing is he has fundamentals, principles, and an honesty of character. Right? He's up there and he's being completely who he is. Trump can never do that. You hear people call up, he's a street fighter. This guy's never been in a fight with anybody. Maybe his butler when he didn't iron his panties the right way. That's it. His whole business plan is to stiff you and then have his lawyers defeat you. He's not a street fighter. He's a guy that sells timeshare products that he doesn't read the fine print on. That's why he doesn't know about what's in his tax plan or what's in the resuscitation of Obamacare. He doesn't know. He doesn't read the detail. He's a Glengarry Glen Ross, always be selling. That's it. He has none of his own character.
Coffee's for closers, Sean. Thanks for the call. Jasmine and Wilmette. No Glengarry leads for Sean.
Dan, you were talking about, does this give him a bump? Is it for his good? We heard this for how many months leading up to the actual election? 17 other presidential candidates or 16 others, and he kept sticking his foot in his mouth, and yet he solidified his base, and he grew it. Because people realized, oh, okay, now we're going to get some clear markings of who is who and who really wants to do right for this country. So no matter how much he says it, that he puts his foot in his mouth, it's gonna do him good.
Oh, well, really? Well, okay, as long as he gets to run against Hillary Clinton forever and ever, and every other Republican does too. Context matters too. Context matters. You can't just rely on the 2016 election cycle and him shooting the gap like he did, and legitimately he did, I understand, and say that now his worst excesses, everything he does and says, no matter how tone deaf, no matter how controversial, no matter how unnecessary, no matter how tangential, it's always going to inure to his benefit, and he's going to continue to grow the pie because the numbers say he's not growing the pie. And he doesn't get to face Hillary Clinton on every policy matter. He has to face some Republicans too, obviously. And that's been difficult. And every member of Congress in the midterms doesn't get to run against Hillary Clinton. And in 2020, he doesn't get to run against Hillary Clinton.
It's Trump being Trump, and he's still going to get his. And he brings out the crazies and he exposes them for who they are.
Thanks for the call, Jasmine.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I love it. I see a tremendous difference in my skin, in my nails, in my hair, in my energy.
Unlike the people that I hear on the radio, you know, I've had vitamins before, but this is makes a much bigger difference than vitamins ever did. That's for sure.
What are you waiting for? Good health is just a phone call away. Don't miss your opportunity to get a free month supply of Balance of Nature. Call 1-800-2468-751. That's